the U.S. And don't forget, we hope to see you out at the Peanut on State Line tomorrow night. We'll all be hanging out watching something that we're not allowed to tell you we're watching. But yeah,
I don't know all the rules, so let's be really careful in the way we say it. But yeah, we'll be hanging out at the Peanut. It's State Line. There happens to be something on TV at that time that you would also be interested in watching.
Yeah.
It involves kicking a ball. We'll be there.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time. Somebody really, really, really wants one of Drew's vuvuzelas. And was like,
just buy them on Amazon?
I don't know. That's what I had assumed so, but I don't know.
I don't know
if they give me one, I'll save it for you, sir.
My understanding is this one is a little bit different than the other remotes we did. I do not believe it'll have the same setup.
Won't have all the cool stuff? We'll see.
From the Truly stuff.
At least there'll be most of us, I think, from the station, or near all of us from the station will be there. So come and check us out. Hang out with us at the Peanut off of State Line on Wednesday. Every single time, I have noticed very consistently, every single time the Royals have an off day now, I get texts from friends, people on social media, people into the text line saying, is today the day? They're just going to I don't know, clean house? I'm not sure exactly what they're anticipating, but like a mass exodus of some way in a Royals front office thing. And I noticed yesterday that Q, the Royals manager, is now minus money in some of the offshore books to be the next manager fired. He's like minus 140. So the odds have been climbing ever steadily for his eventual department for the Royals. And I guess the simple thing I would say is, whether you think people should be calling for it or not, I'd stop anticipating it. The Royals are not going to make wholesale changes in the middle of the season. Whether you think this season has gone wrong or not, which it clearly has. It's gone bad in 1,000 different ways. And so if you're saying somebody should be held accountable, I think that that's more than fair. But I'd stop counting on the Royals off days as being some reckoning for every single time in there. Now, I will say, going into the season, I didn't think there was anything that could be done that would get JJ or Q or even maybe Zumwalt or some of the other lower figures is possible. But I thought it was going to be difficult for someone to be fired in season this year. I don't think it's difficult anymore. I think that these names are going to get mentioned a lot, but I still think it's September 30th problem, not a June 30th problem in the Royals' eyes anyway.
Yeah, I think the reason why some of the reaction and people are like, hey, is anything going to happen on this off day is also because the Mets just last week fired their manager, Carlos Mendoza, right? And so anytime you see another organization move on from a manager like the Mets did, or what was it, early last week, the Angels, I believe, fired their general manager, naturally it will have people looking at other teams that have had failures of a season. The Royals, of course, are one of those. And that is where the fan sentiment is. And I totally get it. Now, what you kind of said, which is what do you actually think will happen? I don't think anybody at the front office level or from Q are getting fired in season. Now, when the season's over, depending on how ugly it actually looks at the end of the day for Matt Quatraro, even if I still will stand by this, I do not think the overall season is all on him by any means. There are moments where decisions I firmly disagree with and I think are mistakes.
Yeah, we talked about some of those yesterday.
This team, 14, 15 games under 500 is I think even most reasonable Royals fans would tell you that it's not all on Matt Quatraro. Plenty of blame on JJ Picollo in this front office as well. I mean, we've had these conversations numerous times throughout the year. Sounds like we're kind of beating a dead horse at this point with some of it. I think we all recognize the whiffs that have occurred, both from the front office and the manager. And look, anytime you have a season with expectations that you don't meet, we've all been sports fans our entire lives, right? We know there is accountability that fans want.
Yep.
And
that's just the way of the sports world.
And so I think, there will have to be some change in the offseason. I don't know if it's going to be cleaning house, though, the way some fans want. I will tell you this, though, and I know owners don't talk all the time. I said it about a month ago, and here we are. It's almost July 1.
It hasn't gotten worse, but it hasn't gotten better.
Well, what I was saying is, that, but then also, Cody, about a month ago, I said, look, I know an owner can only say so much, but I do think from the optics standpoint, it's not a great image when the last time your owner spoke, though, was about the new stadium, which we're going to talk about actually an hour from now. Some new details came out yesterday. The last time he spoke was about the stadium. You're the owner of a club that is going to get all this money from all this public money for a stadium, and your season has been dreadful. Your fans are ticked off, rightfully so. I don't know. I think at some point the owner of the team should speak. Now, the counterpoint to that would be like, what is he going to say that that people
other than this is unacceptable,
right? But I don't know. I said it a month ago, and I'll stand by it as we head in July. I don't think it is crazy at all for any fan to want to hear from the owner about how this season has gone. And you're right. He's not going to come out and say, if he's not firing anybody, then fans aren't probably going to like anything he's saying. But I don't know. I just think at some point you need to show that you also are hearing your fans and recognize and telling them you're just as pissed off as they are.
Which season, like in retrospect now, let's just say the Royals season continues to go this direction. So they win, I don't know. What are they on pace to win? 72, 73 games? Ish, maybe a little bit worse than that. Let's call them 72 and 90 and give them the benefit of the doubt. That they only go 3 games under 500 the rest of the way, Gold, rather than 30 games under 500. Or if they win 70 games or 65, it's all the same. 65 or 70, the season went equally as bad. Which season would be more disappointing based on the preseason expectations? Chiefs or Royals? Because is it Chiefs?
When you have Patrick Mahomes, I know you can say the Royals have Bobby Wood Jr., but we know in football, the most important position is quarterback, and the Chiefs have the best quarterback. And so automatically and the Chiefs have been winning. So probably the Chiefs for most people.
I guess, but is it closer than we want to give it credit for? Because it was easy to quantify the Chiefs, how bad it went. Disaster. Mm-hmm. Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a normal Chiefs season or met expectations of a Chiefs season. They got a 1 last year.
I mean, isn't this Royal season a disaster?
That's what I'm trying to figure. But that's what I'm trying to figure out is the Chiefs one was easy, right? Their expectation was win a Super Bowl. They were a top 10 NFL pick. So on the scale of 1 to 10, they got a 1. It was an epic failure of a season. All things went bad, no positives, bad across the board. The Royals, it's at least it went well for Carter and Jack.
Wow, so you want me to give them a 1.5?
I don't know.
It's
because
they were supposed to win the. They were supposed to compete for the AL Central.
It's a 1 or a 2. It's equally as bad.
This team was in the playoffs in 2024. They have the same manager, same front office, same core group. No, there's no other way to describe it. It's a failure of a baseball season.
Across the board, right?
Yes.
I think the Chiefs one is worse because they're expected to win the Super Bowl where nobody's expecting the Royals to win the World Series. So that's what makes the Chiefs one worse.
But even though they're both disasters. To compete for the American League Central and for sure be a playoff team.
They're both disasters.
And they're going to come
I think the Chiefs is the worst one, I guess, if we're comparing disastrous seasons.
But they do a Bobby Wood Jr. I don't want to pretend like the Royals didn't have and should have had and will again next year have real expectations and should have and all those other things. But it is hard to quantify. Baseball's a little bit different because one person, like you said, the difference is they have Patrick Mahomes. One person in the NFL can set a standard differently than the rest of it. You can have the greatest player on the planet. They have one of the greatest players on the planet, Bobby Wood Jr. Mm-hmm. It doesn't absolve all the issues.
Well, no, because look at the
across
Angels.
The board,
we all know the example. The Angels for many, many years, right? They had, I know Mike Trout now has injury problems for the last couple, but they had Mike Trout for all those years, and they had nothing to show for it. They had Shohei Ohtani on that roster. They had nothing to show for it in L.A. The Angels, I should say.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? That's the example of having the one star in baseball doesn't lead to team success. You all of a sudden figure out quarterback, it can change the entire franchise, and you're good to go. It's just the nature of the sport.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that adds to another thing. It's I'd probably give him a 2. I'd change it slightly from a 1 from the Chiefs, but I'm not giving him a pass. I don't want to make it seem like everything's fine. No, this is it's a failure top to bottom. I think that's what's so frustrating about the season. It's not like things went a little weird and, no. It's just a couple things would have gone right. Everything would have come together. No. Your pitching staff didn't work out. Your offense didn't work out. The changes you didn't make in the offseason didn't work out. The changes you did make in the offseason also didn't work out. It's everything has been wrong. Pretty much from the beginning for the Royals. But it's also I'm not holding my breath that every single off day is the reckoning.
No, I don't think anything's happening in season. But I will say in the off season, you cannot go into next November. And I know the CBA...
and say that they'll just play better? No.
I know the CBA is going to throw a wrinkle into this whole thing that none of us can predict, right? Does the season start on time? And how does that change how any organization operates in the offseason? But yeah, they cannot go into next season and just run it back with the same exact members of this organization. That's not me saying that everybody needs to be fired. But I'll tell you this, You can't have the exact same people in the exact same positions across the board.
Nope.
Just cannot happen.
No, I agree.
So whatever combination that looks like, I know, like if we did a poll question, my guess is from fans, they would say clean house. I think that would be probably if the majority opinion.
Yes.
I don't expect that to happen.
I'm not necessarily calling for that.
But I think multiple people will not have the same job that they have currently.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's going to be that there's a new GM and a new manager. If someone asks, what do you think is more likely? I think it's way more likely that the GM stays in place, JJ Piccolo, than it is that Matt Quatrero. Managers just get moved. Organizations move on from managers quicker than they do general managers because the general manager moving on has to come from the owner, versus the managerial hire or fire, of course, comes from the GM. So
I imagine with input from,
of course.
I imagine you roll it past the old desk. And this goes back to, we talked about this with the NFL. This is a really interesting dynamic that happens. I think is happening more in sports now than used to, which is the GMs are being allowed to make more hirings and firings than I feel like they did in my youth. When I was a GM, like when I was a kid, GMs of NFL teams and baseball teams, they got like 2 managers or they got like 2 head coaches. And if you weren't figuring it out by then, well, then get your ass out of town. Yeah. Like you're not the guy. You hired that guy stunk, you also have to go. It hasn't been going that way as much anymore. Like even if you're like any number of managers, sometimes the GMs get 20, 25 years and multiple managerial or multiple the
Royals have what, 7 different people that have been around for 20 years in the organization?
Scott Sharp and JJ Piccolo, and they've got any number of people who have been sitting around doing this. And look, some of them are easy. Like we go back to the, like island stuff or not even him, less than that. You go back to the pitching coach before Cal Eldred. We all knew he stunk. Like that wasn't like a mystery.
The comp to that would be the Alex Zumwalt situation.
Yeah, and it's like I don't understand what your loyalty is in this situation. We all agree, even if he's not bad at his job, it ain't working. So like at some point, like someone could be good at a different job or good in a different organization or good in a different circumstance, but it wasn't working here, and we all knew it. And the loyalty sometimes is still together. The Royals probably still need to be. They've been less loyal to players. They have changed their roster a hair more than they did under the Dayton, but not as less loyal as some other organizations. And this offseason, I view it as an offseason problem. They're going to have to look at themselves and say, how many big changes do we need to make? How many small changes do we need to make? Because there's a lot of changes still coming.
Well, and how involved does John Sherman want to get? Yeah. Because ultimately that's that. If you want to have massive changes, it's going to have to come at that level. And we've talked to Vern about this. There's, if you're looking at competing in 2027 and not wasting years of Bobby Witt Jr. while he's still under contract for your organization, there's the money spent this year is not the problem, right? You look where they're in payroll. This is not because John Sherman didn't spend money. But in 2027, in order to quickly get out of this, he might have to spend more than he wants to spend. And that'll be an interesting thing in the offseason. Because I will push back at anybody that says ownership, lack of spending is the problem here in 2026. I firmly disagree with that. You look at their payroll numbers compared to their peers in the division, they are very much competitive in the payroll department. They are not bottom 5 or anything like that. I think they're 19th or something in payroll. That, to me, is not the issue. You always want your owner to spend more, but they're 19th in payroll. Yeah, but to get out of this mess for next year, they might have to be better than that in terms of payroll numbers. Now, that gets into the deeper conversation again. Do you trust everybody involved in the organization to increase the payroll that those decisions will be correct with said money? You can throw money at problems all you want, but if you don't make the right signing or trade, it doesn't matter. You can spend all the money you want. Look at the Mets. Yeah. Look how much money they spent. That hasn't got them crap.
I think it is hard because like this year there's 2 big firings and it's worked really well for one and it hasn't worked for the other. So these people that want to point out, it's too easy to point out, hey, firing the manager has really worked for the Red Sox, who now have I think statistically like a 25% chance of making the postseason, which is certainly better than what, and they're still 9 games under 500, but they were way worse than that. So people are like, well, I don't know, they're up to a 20% chance. Yeah. 12 games back in their division. It's worked, but like in the smallest conceivable sense. It doesn't, in my opinion, those kinds of things don't solve the problem in the middle of the year. You can want any head to roll. It's not resolving anything. Like, whether you want Q gone or not, it doesn't solve the problem for right now. Their problems are long term. Their problems are next season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons from now. And so I'm not in a rush, I guess, is the point I would make, at least on that. I think it can be an off-season decision. Meanwhile, yesterday in the soccer world, boy, did we get every single game as advertised, didn't we? yesterday, what an awesome slate. 2 games go to
Maybe it was even better than advertised, I would say.
Yeah, maybe.
Unbelievable.
Maybe. Two
Because the
different
Paraguay-Germany game was not expected to be what was happening.
Quick initial thought, by the way. Will everyone stop trying to fix soccer's PK system? It's awesome, and I don't understand
like
why
it.
everybody hates it.
I feel like a lot of the, I feel like
It's always
a lot
Americans. It's always like we'll fix their overtime.
It really is, Cody.
Our
You're right
overtime's
about
way
that.
worse than theirs. PK's rule. I'm totally fine with games ending that way. They can't just play 240 minutes, so I don't understand what the issue is here.
Yeah, the PKs were the drama, the attention, all of it was absolutely incredible. And you knew as soon as we had a couple games go to PKs, you would have some people come out of the woodwork complaining about it and saying, this is a terrible way to decide. No, it's amazing theater. It's absolutely amazing. And both, you saw also just the difference in both. We had 2 PK last night, and you saw the difference in each one, just in terms of the mistakes sometimes that were made, the great goalkeeping at other times. It was better than anybody could have possibly asked for. And the fact is, we hadn't really had in group stage all that many like upsets or anything like that. Yesterday, of course, the big one was Germany going down, but then the Netherlands last night as well. I know Morocco, that was closer to a coin flip game in the betting markets heading in. And even our guests last Friday when we had the Dutch in, they were saying that Morocco is going to be really tough, and that's a pretty big rivalry. There's a decent sized Moroccan population inside of the Netherlands as well, and Morocco was better than the Netherlands most of the game.
Yeah,
they just were, and PKs almost saved the Netherlands. Like they were usually it's the underdog that's just trying to pack it in and play defense and get to PKs and see what happens. It was Netherlands who just had nothing going against Morocco, and I understand. Ultimately PKs, is there some luck involved? Sure, right? The goalkeeper's guessing what direction to go, but also there's a tremendous amount of skill. Some of these guys, they're just better than everybody else at it.
The mental aspect of it is what makes it so good. It's weird. Everybody, I understand the betting odds might have called it an upset. Morocco's the 7th ranked team in the world. Netherlands was 8th. So it's not an upset. The better team won yesterday. The better team showed up and dominated possession.
Yeah.
Ronald Koeman is getting slammed for it. I think he actually stepped down as the Dutch manager. There were some rumors.
Nothing like sports.
There were
Someone
some
just has
rumors
one ugly showing and they're like, I'll resign in shame.
Well, it is the first time they've ever been eliminated in they didn't make the round of 16. It's the first time they ever have had that happen to them. So, I mean, it makes some sense why. Plus, the whole tactic stuff they were saying, Thierry Henry even mentioned it on the broadcast, was they were playing scared. From the formation, they played as if they were scared of Morocco, and Morocco came out and dominated and looked better.
Good in that match.
And for all the reasons that they were the Cinderella story in 22. Now they came in as a top 10 nation. They're legit. I think a lot of people are understanding that and realizing how good that match actually. It felt like a semifinal yesterday. That one did.
Yeah,
it felt like it.
The tension and the drama for that match, and then I don't know. Did it make seeing Germany lose? Did it make
that was crazy?
Did it make you feel even better about the U.S.?
Well, they beat Paraguay 4-1.
That's what I mean. Right?
So
Everybody likes to do the what do you call it, the
transitive property. It doesn't exactly work that way.
I think there was some of that going on after the match. The U.S. dominated them. Completely different match. But if that's what you need to feel even more confident about the U.S., then go for it. I think more than anything, we all just want to see the U.S. go out there and dominate Bosnia tomorrow night, and then we'll all feel much better about the situation heading into probably Belgium.
More than it made me, I guess, feel like, wow, if Paraguay can get Germany like that, and you tuned up Paraguay just like a week ago, a week and a half ago, what does that say? And I'm like, it more just was like, hey, a reminder, you can lose on Wednesday. So don't try to sleepwalk through Bosnia before you get the next one. Because I think if Germany and Paraguay play 10 times, Germany probably wins 7 or 8 of those matches. They didn't win that one. But that didn't feel like the Netherlands-Morocco match to me. That just felt like Paraguay got them.
Yeah, because
and so just a reminder to be careful.
Well, and the reason why I think Paraguay got them too, Cody, is Bosnia is going to do the exact same strategy that Paraguay did. By the way, I would presume they're going to pack it in. All 10 out of the 11 guys are going to be in the box or 15 yards ahead, where it is going to be like playing operation trying to find a goal, where Germany was going through that. Paraguay scores first, and then at that point you're thinking, well, Paraguay's going to pack it in still and try to just win it outright. Germany gets the equalizer, but I think that'll be the same way Bosnia tries to go about it. Is we're not expected to win this match. We're going to try to choke you to death and get you to extra time, and then we're going to try to choke you there and get to PKs. and then we have a chance, because otherwise Bosnia has no shot. So I think stylistically the game could look a lot like it did for Paraguay and Germany, the same tomorrow night with the U.S. and Bosnia, who have hypothetically no chance of winning, but
Very similar,
they're going to try to pack it in and just park the bus for 90 minutes, which will be annoying to watch. But I think that's going to be the strategy they have to use if they want a shot. Bosnia, that being.
I believe Germany was like minus 600 to win yesterday. They, of course, lost. The U.S. is minus 750 against Bosnia. Bosnia is 5-1 to win.
They're much worse than Paraguay in the world rankings.
And today, we got a match coming up in less than 2 hours. We get Ivory Coast and Norway. That's first up.
That might be the best one of the day.
And based on the betting markets, it's that or Mexico, Ecuador, as far as what they predict will be the most competitive. Ivory Coast plus 146, Norway minus 178, and then France, Sweden. France is minus 950, and I've seen it higher than even that. Sweden plus 600. And then Mexico, Ecuador. Mexico minus 178, Ecuador plus 146. So odds-wise, it's saying that and the Ivory Coast-Norway game should be the two closest. But look, upsets happen as we saw yesterday. Who knows? Everybody has a chance to win in the World Cup. This is crazy when we get to knockout stage.
I saw Ecuador was parked outside the Mexico hotel, just blaring their horns, honking and making noise. I like that kind of gamesman nonsense from fans for the World Cup.
Or was
stuff.
it Mexico fans doing outside the Ecuador hotel?
Was it?
I don't know.
Maybe I got it
I don't know
reversed.
which way it was, but
I might have got it
But the same concept, right? One of the fan bases outside the other team's hotel making noise so they can't sleep. I thought it was maybe Mexico fans outside the Ecuador hotel. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was that way. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's still funny either way that, somebody goes through all of this effort in order to do it. But it's just the U.S. is not the kind of soccer. The men's team is not the kind of soccer powerhouse that they can sleep on anybody, in my opinion. Sure. So you can't just be like, well, I feel a lot better now. We really beat up on Paraguay. So, we got to be feeling like easy. And they played their best two matches right out of the gate. It's as good as they've looked, but still. Tomorrow's, got to be careful.
The only bummer yesterday, that means Netherlands is eliminated. It means we lost one of our teams that were here in Kansas City for base camp. And so that was the first team to be eliminated, as everybody else said, advanced. So we'll see how it goes. I know there was an article yesterday that Algeria, even if they advance, that they're done with Lawrence. Like they can choose another base camp because of just travel and everything.
Yeah.
So they're already done. The Netherlands sounded like was going to stay using the current facility. Argentina, I don't know if they've confirmed if they are staying with using the sporting facilities or not.
Probably because they could play here, I guess, presumably.
But so could Algeria. So Algeria theoretically could still play in Kansas City as well. And they've already said that they're not staying in Lawrence. They're done. And they thanked Lawrence and all that kind of. They thanked the mayor and everything. And but that means England is still here. Algeria is still alive, even if they're not base camping here after this match, no matter what. And then of course
England still.
Argentina, England, and Algeria. Yeah. And then England, one of their players, and I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. I honestly have no clue. Noni Madueke? I don't know.
Noni Madueke.
Sure.
Madueke.
Yeah. He was speaking to the media. Thank you. And he was asked about, hey, have you been checking out Kansas City?
Yeah, I've not been out of the hotel in Kansas.
Is there a reason for that? Do you not want to get out?
It's so hot outside, like inside there's air conditioning, so I'd rather just stay inside and focus on the next session.
More love to Kansas, by the way, even though they're not staying in Kansas. Very, I'm sure Missouri fans will get a little irritated at that.
It continues to be that. It is very hot outside. He's like, I'm not walking around the plaza. It's too damn hot.
Honestly, I respect the answer.
In fairness to
especially because they don't have AC in a lot of other parts of Europe, so he's probably just soaking it in while he gets the moment.
And fairness to him, by saying Kansas, they are staying in Prairie Village.
Yeah.
At least England is actually staying in Kansas. So he's actually not he's actually technically not wrong on when he's saying it.
Okay.
Because they actually are based on the Kansas side.
Who was it that said...
Well, Argentina, when they landed, they put out a graphic on their own, their federation social account or whatever, and it said like "Thanks Kansas" or something like that. So that one was they of course are staying in Riverside or whatever, Riverfront. But England is technically correct by saying Kansas.
He's also not wrong that it's hot as hell, especially this week.
Oh,
if I can avoid going outside, I'm going to. Alex said it yesterday, but thanks again to anybody who has to work outside this week. Nightmare. Genuinely. I can't think of worse weather to try to work outside in than it's Kansas City humidity.
And it's only July 1 tomorrow. I mean, we're just getting started. We're just getting started in summer. We just had the first official day of summer, a week ago?
Alex and I just found out what days we'll be at training camp.
14 of them. We'll be up there for 14 shows starting, what is it, Monday the 26th? 7th, I think, something like
See
that,
up
of
there.
July. Oh, yeah, we'll be up there. Stop by the tent, say hello. We'll be wedged in. I'm assuming it's the same spot, wedged next to the
Imagine
Hy-Vee.
we'll be in a different spot. I've been in the
next to
same spot this
Hy-Vee
entire
tent.
time.
Yeah, there'll be the Hy-Vee concession tent, and then we'll be right to the left. And we'll see if Cody runs on a football field this year and tries to steal a football or not.
Or
and,
kick a field goal or any of the other
we'll
things.
have some
I've
fun.
done.
We'll do some. You know what? This year we'll do some pre-training camp show prop bets. Maybe we'll have Drew
There you
throw
go.
some our way. Maybe before camp. We got some.
It'll be our
time on
first
that.
camp questions, you know, a
There you go.
series of
Yeah.
you and I prop bets for when we're up
The question is, do you guys want weather reports back from Cloudy with a Chance?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's the question. Or do we want an official? I think Cloudy was very popular last year.
I think he was too. So much so he was mentioned, I think, a few weeks ago.
Okay. Well, we'll have
On
to
the
reach
show.
back out to Cloudy and see if he wants to provide us some weather reports again. Up next, though, let's talk about baseball. Not the Royals specifically, but the bigger picture with the MLB owners and players, where we're at with that. And one Chiefs player, where is he on the verge, unfortunately, of stacking up in Chiefs history?
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
You don't have to carry everything on your own. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, substance use, or thoughts of suicide, talking to someone can help, and help is available 24/7 through the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can call or text 988 anytime to connect with a trained mental health professional. 988 is free, confidential, easy to remember, and available anytime, anywhere, to anyone. Call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. No judgment, just help.
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and that means your bet goes with them. Well, not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. Even if your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you keep your bet alive and it keeps you in the action for even longer. So now you're in it until the final whistle. The Super Sub covers the entire game, including extra time. This summer is going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be even better with our friends over at FanDuel. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. Look for the yellow Super Sub icon on the same page and the My Bets page. If your player leaves the match due to substitution or injury, your bet automatically will transfer to the substitute who replaces that player. Go to FanDuel.com/local. Let there be goals this summer for the World Soccer Championship with FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Our nation's 250th birthday calls for a really big party. And Hy-Vee is here to help with really big savings on everything you need. Load up the grill with tender baby back ribs, just $3.28 a pound. Whole seedless watermelon, only $4.48. Frito-Lay chips for $2. And Pepsi 8-pack bottles or 12-pack cans, just $3.99. Stock up on your favorite beer, wine, and spirits and get the party started. This Wednesday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Soccer Fever is in Kansas City, and Hy-Vee is your headquarters for official merchandise, apparel, tailgate, and watch party needs. And Hy-Vee makes game day so easy. They have ready-to-go wings, pizza, party trays, charcuterie, and, of course, all those delicious sweet treats. If you're planning a cookout, great. Hy-Vee special recipe brats, burgers, and steaks are the best. Check out their match day meat bundle for only $30. And don't forget about Hy-Vee's wine and spirits department. For all of your game day needs, count on Hy-Vee.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
At Shawnee Mission Ford right now, they're allowing you to get a big win, and that is employee pricing. You pay what they pay. Employee pricing for everyone on 25 Mustang, Mach-E, Bronco, Bronco Sport, Mavericks, F-150s, and Expeditions. And you still get all the rebates and incentives offered from Ford on top of employee pricing, along with top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford. American value for American values. Shawnee Mission Ford is on a mission to do more in 26.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
This is the story of the one. The one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC-Mo every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road.
All right, we're just getting going here on a Tuesday. Coming up in 30 minutes, we'll talk more about the Royals Stadium. They filed some plans yesterday. Gave us maybe some more insight on what specifically the new stadium could have more so around it, right? In terms of parking in the Crown Center area, maybe the direction the stadium's going to face. Some of those details we got some insight on yesterday with plans that were filed. So we'll discuss that and what it means in about 25 minutes or so. Don't forget, you guys can always chime in, as many of you have already, on the J Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. Let's talk some baseball, but bigger picture stuff here. We all know that this will be probably one of 30 different updates we get between now and the CBA that expires at the end of the year. And then, unfortunately, I think we all recognize we're going to be talking about this in January and February as well, when real deadlines happen, as in spring training, as in opening day, and hopefully it doesn't result in multiple games being missed or a full season or anything like that being missed. But it is right now the point of the negotiation where both sides are still so far apart that they're submitting such drastic changes to the sport.
I think that's what stood out to me. I know you guys talked a little bit about it while I was gone, but what I can't figure out is, do the players or the owners like the sport at all as currently constructed? Because as it sits right now, what we're getting is dueling proposals of not changes that support one or the other, massive league-altering suggestions. Like, we're just like dueling between, hey, we want to change the entire compensation formula to we want to change the entire formula for how people become free agents to let's just get rid of the entire international part of the system and it's all draft-based and everybody has to go to college. I'm like, do either of you even like the sport? What I can't figure out is, do you find anything redeemable in the current model for either of you? And then, unfortunately, is what comes to that, Gold, is when both people kind of hate it, I sometimes start wondering if it's the best system we can have. Not that it's a perfect system or even a good system in some ways, but the fact that both of you dislike both things that are happening so much makes me wonder if the current state is actually as good of a compromise as we can get. Like,
no, I hear you.
If that makes sense, because they're so far apart in other areas, maybe this is the best compromise. It's not a perfect system, but maybe there is no middle ground.
I get what you're saying. I would also say, as you know, with whether it's the NFL, CBA, whether it's now Major League Baseball we're talking about, when we're this far out still from the first deadline, which is the expiration of the current CBA, which I believe is the end of December, right now you've got such drastic, I'll call unserious type of offers that are out there from both sides, in fairness, right? Certainly the owner's side with some of the changes. They're trying to push more towards the NBA model of that we've seen with the way they handle free agency, for example, and contracts. And there's been a lot written about that and how that's panned out for the NBA. And so you can have these proposals that deep down, if you got true serum for the owners, they know the players are never going to go for. Like deep down, like if we got John Sherman or any of these other owners,
they're never
truly
going to buy that.
They know there's zero chance the players are accepting the proposal they put forward last week or whatever. They know that, but this is where they start, and they're starting very far apart, and they are such drastic changes that's why most people believe, unfortunately, we're headed towards, at the bare minimum, a delay. How about that? I won't call it a full-on missed season, but a delay to spring training and probably opening day.
I guess here's the issue I'm starting to have between the two is none of the proposals from either side seem to be attempting to address the revenue disparity in teams. Neither seem to be actually trying to solve that, because even the cap proposals by the league are unserious in a way that would not just resolve the haves and the have-nots. The players' issues don't seem to be concerned about the revenue disparity maybe at all. They have a distribution problem. It's not trying to solve the issue of the TV rights, which is probably where the single biggest revenue disparity currently exists. And so it just feels like they're both just saying, I'll just completely radicalize and change everything about free agency and how players are paid. And in different areas, obviously, for either the owners or for the players. Look, we all know a lockout's coming. Because no one's this far apart 6 months before you have to get a deal done and somehow resolve this cacophony of issues. It's far too deep.
I think the only real deadline, the first one where maybe there's a chance some real progress is made, is the spring training deadline, right? When spring training is supposed to have pitchers and catchers report. Yeah. I don't even consider the end of December the deadline. There is no way, there's no scenario where they get a deal done before it actually expires at the end of December. There's no scenario that was ever going to happen. So for me, the real deadline will be spring training, and my guess is they won't make that deadline. But that's when we'll have some big progress, because that's when things start getting real for the players as well as the owners.
What I'm trying
and
to
then of course the next one after that is inside of a week or two from opening day.
What I keep trying to pick out of this is what are the things that actually make sense for either to agree to?
The no deferred contracts, I think actually both sides understand that. I actually do believe that, because here's the argument. The deferred contracts, we know why the owners don't want it. We know why fans don't want the deferred contracts. And I would argue if you're a player, you don't want it either. As good as it sounds to get the deal that's
spread out forever.
Here's if you have let's say you have a cap down the road. If you have deferred money as well then you're less likely to be able to spend money in the future because you already got money on the books. So there's an argument where players shouldn't want a deferred contract either.
I think in general, and I could be wrong, that it's just bad for the sport. No other sport allows you to pay someone 35 years from now, because it's, and they know this too. Gold, because if you're the only argument I'd say for the MLB owners for wanting it, and the reason why some do is, one, you get the competitive advantage, as in you don't have to pay everybody right now, and you know that if you got to pay $35 million this year to Shohei Ohtani, or $50 million this year to Shohei Ohtani, you know that if you just put that in a bank account to earn interest, that $50 million is worth a lot more than the $50 million you have to pay him 15 years from now. Like, you can essentially earn the right to pay him down the road. It just doesn't serve the sport in any capacity. Now, they'll have to grandfather in all these players who have already worked out these deals, which is probably why the Dodgers. So maybe that one. I still think they should be interested in a cap and a floor, but I also understand why the players are going to refuse to give that up, because it is the single best thing in their entire deal with Major League Baseball. It is what separates them from every other professional sports league, maybe on the planet. I can't speak for every league in every country. Certainly from any league in this one. The idea that you can, like, that part of your deal, that you can just uncap, make whatever the hell you want, tough. That's a tough argument to go against. Now, I'd say these other leagues, it's not like the quarterbacks in the NFL aren't going broke. Have you seen some of the contracts in the NBA getting handed out this week? It seems like the cap hasn't stopped them from earning insane amounts of money.
No,
so
the argument, the players' side would argue the NBA model that they have now and what owners in baseball are kind of pushing for has created where, yeah, the top guys are getting these massive deals, but there's no middle class anymore. It's like you're either getting
you either make a lot of money or you make
not.
league minimum.
And that's the players. I'm just telling you, like, that's the players' argument on the baseball side, at least, is that do you really want that system where there's no middle class?
I also wonder, like, in the NBA, it's harder because, you're talking like 11 players, 12 players. Like, you're just talking like 15 guys, not 26, not an entire minor league system. Like, I would argue that there's not a terribly good middle class now in Major League Baseball. Not to say that there aren't players who don't make that, but that's how the NFL works too. But the NFL is also like you get turned and burned. You're 5-year, 6-year vet in the league. A lot of times you're getting run out anyway.
No, there's no fully guaranteed contracts. Baseball, we all know, once you get to that level, you can, you're set.
What they pay you is what you're paid. Keep that, and I think you can give up the cap of the floor. You could, like, in my opinion, keep the fully guaranteed. That's the more important part, in my opinion, because then doesn't matter if you get hurt, doesn't matter if you can't play, doesn't matter if you're Albert Pujols on the bare end of the nonsense. You can at least still get every cent they offered you.
Yeah, I'll still say what we've said from the beginning on this, which is still the challenge for the players in this whole thing is fans more than ever seem to be, shockingly, on the owner's side because of the competitive balance aspect. And it's a winning argument because we've all seen what's happened with the Dodgers. Now, I think it's a bit misleading to think that suddenly a salary cap and floor and that, like, now the Dodgers are just going to go away and that everybody's going to have a chance to win. I think that's a bit wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But that's a winning argument because most fans you talk to, they say, hey, this is ridiculous how they can go out and spend this kind of money. We're stuck here. The TV contract disparity, all that kind of, it's a winning argument.
It is.
And it works on a graphic on social media as well. And the players have a huge problem on their hands with that. What's the pushback? The reality is most casual fans are not going to go dive into the nitty-gritty details.
Yeah.
You have to find a message that is simple to understand and why this doesn't work. If people have to go and do a deep dive into the numbers and figure out the math, I'm not saying the math is wrong, but, like, people aren't going to do that. No. And so people are lazy.
What's your winning message?
Yeah, you got the owners are better at the messaging through these negotiations historically anyway.
To this point, absolutely. On the other end, I was thinking about, like, sometimes you get into those Chiefs off-season modes where you start thinking about different versions of it. And you and I have spent a little bit of time talking about Felix Anudike-Uzomah and whether or not he's going to make the team this year. Does he have any kind of impact this year? I've told you I actually think he could be just like a fine-ish rotational defensive lineman if he makes the team, like the kind of guy that you don't hate being 7th down the order.
Yeah, I mean, there's a real chance he doesn't make the team.
There's a real chance he make the team. If he doesn't make the team, where does he rank amongst the worst Chiefs busts of all time? Because he's got to be near the top of the list, doesn't he? He's a first-round pick. Here's the list of names I thought of quickly, and if I'm missing somebody, let me know. 913-586-7965. Todd Blackledge, I feel like, is number one because of all the other quarterbacks taken in that draft that they could have hypothetically had.
I don't think anything could ever surpass that.
No. Breland Speaks, Jonathan Baldwin, Ryan Sims, Tyson Jackson all came to mind.
So Speaks,
those are first-round picks. Some of those guys in the top 10 is where they were selected.
Speaks was a second rounder,
He's
right?
the lowest of all of those guys I just listed picks-wise.
He was a second rounder.
Kavari Russell also never played a single snap for the team.
Felix has played in, 33 games or so?
Yeah.
And Jonathan Baldwin played in 34 games and had, we looked this up, 34 games and 600 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Correct.
Felix has 3.5, 4 sacks, and he's played in 33 games. So very similar. Felix was picked 32nd, as we all know, in the first round. Baldwin, I think, was the 25th or 26th overall pick. That's probably the closest comp.
I mean, it's... Yeah.
Some of the other guys, Ryan Sims, played 100 games for this team. Well,
he played 100 games as a Chief?
I'm pretty sure. Was it Ryan Sims or Tyson Jackson? Yeah.
They both played quite a few. But, I mean, he's a second-round pick. And, near the end of the
Ryan
second
Sims
round,
played
right?
105 games and had 8.5 sacks.
Kavari Russell was a third-round pick. He didn't make it at training camp.
Sure.
Wouldn't that be as bad as Breland Speaks? I feel like to be the greatest bust of all time, there's got to be a 1 after your name. You got to be a first-round pick. So, forever, I think Felix Anudike-Uzomah will be worse than Breland Speaks, despite the fact Breland Speaks only got a single year as a member of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And recorded, I'm assuming, 0 sacks, because I don't remember him ever getting one. So,
a lot of people texting in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'll push back on that. I understand it did not look, he's a first-round pick.
But
he won
I guess so did technically Felix.
He's on the list, but he's not. To me, there's 5+ names ahead of him. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, his rookie year, gave you 803 yards on the ground.
And 1,100 all-purpose. He at least had a qualified season that mattered.
Yeah, and I would say his first 2 years were decent. After that, obviously, it was not anything you would have won. He also was on the team for 5 years. So he's not anywhere in the top 3. He's on a list if you do a top 10.
He's definitely on the list.
Because he's a first-round pick. But I think there's some other guys on there. Another good name we forgot about, I think Glenn Dorsey. Is definitely in the conversation. I don't know if you mentioned him.
Someone mentioned Sylvester Morris. He's a first-round pick. He only played 1 year.
Glenn Dorsey was the 5th overall pick. He played in 100 games and only had 7 sacks. 5th overall. He's very high on the list.
It's they've got a lot of defensive linemen who weren't sack guys, but also played 8 years in the NFL. It's hard to imagine bust. Sylvester Morris, a guy I had not thought to include in this list, was the 21st overall pick for the Chiefs in the year 2000. He played in 14 games, had 678 yards, and then never played in the NFL ever again. Did he get hurt? I don't remember how the end of his career happened. He get in trouble?
Sylvester Morris?
Yeah, why did he never play again?
I do not know the full story on that one.
You and I were just I should remember that.
He signed with the Bucs in 2004, and then he got a season-ending injury, and then his career was cut short by knee injuries.
Injuries, addictions, and other stuff put in early into it. You know what's so tough about this is he actually showed some promise. 700 yards your rookie year, maybe there's something there. And then, of course, other things got in the way. Some ways, and you might view this differently, it's kind of it's genuinely like the Ryan Leaf conundrum in some capacities. Sometimes I am more understanding, or I want to rank them lower on the bust category when it's personal stuff that gets in the way or injuries that get in the way, then you just stink. You just stink. You just can't play. That to me is worst in the bust category than, things got in the way for life, addiction or injury, or I don't know. Sometimes those feel worse.
It's still a bust, though.
I know.
It's still a bust.
Right. So Morris should probably be higher than
the Clyde
FAU.
Back to the Clyde stuff, because people are continuing to text in about him, and nobody's arguing. Was he a bust because he's a first-round pick? Absolutely. I'm just saying I don't think he's in the top 3 busts in Chiefs history.
I'm not sure he's in the top 10.
I think he's in the top 10 because the running back position, if you're a first-round running back, it's easier to find. You're supposed to be able to find a running back in the first round a hell of a lot easier than defensive end. We've talked about this. You pick a defensive end, pick 28 to 32. The percentage of hitting on that pick is way worse than hitting on a running back at the end of the first round.
Yeah.
So that I'll give people that point. I don't think he's top 3. You would not put Clyde Edwards-Helaire as a bigger bust than Todd Blackledge or Glenn Dorsey. Glenn Dorsey was the 5th overall pick, guys. 5th overall pick in the draft. I understand the positional value aspect of it, but man, and Felix Anudike-Uzomah, this conversation will also be dictated by, does he make the team or not? Does he make it through his rookie contract or not?
It is really funny to me because there's names that people are messaging in on the YouTube and Twitch chat.
Give me a couple.
People didn't think about
Brody Croyle.
I wasn't old enough to remember Trezell Jenkins, but he was a first-round pick, and he only played, never even started a single game for the Chiefs.
Yeah, some people were texting Brody Croyle. He was a third-round pick. I know he sucked, but he was a third-round pick. So, I mean, how much of a bust can
Otherwise,
you
it'd be Kavari Russell. It'd be way worse than Brody Croyle. Kavari Russell did not make it. Drew doesn't remember this because we went around. He was drafted by the Chiefs in the third-round pick. He did not make it to the end of training camp. He did not make it to the end of St. Joe before they cut him. Like, that, if the round doesn't matter, Kavari Russell might be one.
Yeah.
What about C of E? Was he a second round or was he a first round? No one didn't.
First round pick, wasn't he?
Okay. I couldn't remember where.
Hold on.
He's on the list too.
Second rounder.
I think FAU was like
he was
fifth.
picked fourth.
He's like the fifth worst pick they've ever
C
made.
of E was 36th overall pick.
How much pass do we give for you were on a Super Bowl winning team? Because Felix did make a good play.
How big of a role did you play in that year, though?
He had a nice tackle in a Super Bowl win.
A tackle. Yep.
An important tackle, though.
A tackle.
A important tackle in a Super Bowl win. That's got to bump him down the list a little. A lot of these other guys did absolutely jack. Like they didn't even have the play to make a difference, right?
But that was just because he's a product of being on a great team. I mean, if Jonathan Baldwin happened to be on the 2022 Chiefs or whatever, you would still
kind of feel about Kadarius Toney. It's like that trade sucked, but they also won the Super Bowl that year, so did it suck that bad?
Yeah.
I saw somebody in a Kadarius Toney jersey the other day, speaking of which.
Oh, man, someone out and bought that thing?
Mm-hmm. Somebody says someone was saying that calm down, guys, Felix Anudike-Uzomah will make the team. I said, give it a 20-25% chance.
I think
what percentage did you put?
I'm a little higher
he's
than
gonna
that,
make
40-45.
You think it's 50-50?
I mean,
Yeah,
who else
a
do they
little
have?
lower than
Who
that.
else do they have at edge? George Karlaftis, R. Mason Thomas, and then Ashton Gelati. How many edge rushers are they keeping? You would presume they keep at least 5.
We'll see. He's got to be healthy. Got to be available.
I just this is sometimes like a time capsule.
I feel like I feel like he's going to make the team.
You think so? I think he's a slightly less than 50-50 chance.
I mean, who else do they have at
to do
edge
it.
though? Is what I'm saying. How many? I think a lot of teams keep 6 edge rushers. I don't
Keep a
know.
lot.
I don't know how far off he is of
I'd be
3
fine-
at 3 at the moment.
If he earns the spot, I'm not anti him, sticking around. It's fine. My question for him is whether or not
He hasn't played since
he's
2024.
any
So
good.
to think that it's, and I know you're not saying it's 100%. I don't think it's it is not crazy at all to suggest that there's a decent chance he doesn't make the team.
I think that's that's fair.
I don't know, somebody on the text line responding acts like it's the most insane thing to bring up. No, he didn't play it all last year, and he hasn't been productive.
Who's going to beat him out?
Spot, for sure, right?
Ethan Downs, Tyreek Smith.
Somebody has to beat him out. They can also, if they don't like what they're getting from anybody, they can sign somebody else from another. We all know how this game is played. Somebody else gets cut from a team at the end of the year, the end of training camp or preseason. Somebody else gets signed that's better. I mean, it happens in the NFL all the time. I don't
Especially
think
at the end of the roster
I don't think he has the luxury of I was a first round pick. They're going to give me every opportunity. That's the first 3 or 4 years of your career. This he has not played a game.
If
since
anything, though,
2024.
they've shown the willingness to hang on with him,
and that's why he's got a 20.
That's why I think he's got a better chance than.
Yeah, and that's why. I mean, I'm not saying it's 0. I'm not saying it's 5%. I think it's less than a coin flip. That's all. We'll see.
Yeah. Again,
I mean,
20 to 25.
if he's better and available than the other guys, well, he'll make the team. It's that simple.
How many career sacks does he have? Less than 5?
Yeah, 3.
3? Oof.
His last season he played was 2024. He had 2.5.
I know it's the end of the first round, so he didn't need to be a superstar in order for that pick to work, but it's kind of a lot worse than that.
Some other names I haven't heard in a while. Someone said about Kendrick Lewis. Well, that's a name I haven't heard in a very
Where was
long
he
time.
taken?
Kendrick Lewis that's a throwback. 2010 draft. He was 5th round, guys. He can't be a bust. He was a 5th
Somebody
round.
said old Chiefs fans remember Percy Snow. I was like, yeah, I don't remember that one. He played for the Chiefs for 1 year in 1990. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He came back in 1992.
He was a 13th overall pick.
And he started 15 games. That's pretty rough. 2 career sacks. That's worse. That's worse than Felix. That's definitely worse than Felix. So you know what? Maybe too hard on Felix. Top 10, but maybe not top 5. He might be 8th, 9th, 10th. He's a little bit further down the list than I thought. Boy, drafting's harder than you think. A lot of bad picks over the years. He's also a linebacker, so people care less. Defensive end, corner, wide receiver. We remember those busts a lot more than we remember others. Then, Percy Snow, inside linebacker for the Chiefs, who started all of 15 games. got a cup of coffee when he missed 2 full years. Got drafted by the Chiefs. He was 23 years old. He started 14 games. Did not play 91. He was 23. Didn't play again until 92. And then played 15 games for them, but as a bench player. And then 10 games as a backup in Chicago, and then never played again. Damn. They're going to make me... I'm going to have to learn some Chiefs history.
He wrecked his moped in training camp for Percy Snow? That's the story? Is that really true? Is that true? Up in River Falls back then? Were they in River Falls then?
There's a whole article or a YouTube page.
Yeah,
the rise and fall of Percy Snow.
A lot of people are texting in. Yeah.
Suffered a devastating, as it puts, moped accident in training camp in 1991 that derailed his entire professional football career.
Holy cow.
Damn. That's a crazy way to end your career. A moped injury?
Did not know that. I was
6 when he got
not born.
When
I was born that year. So
and obviously he didn't play very long, so it's not a name that I would have remembered very often.
All right, coming up next, guys, let's talk about the Royal Stadium. They filed some plans yesterday that gave us a little insight on the parking situation, perhaps the direction of the stadium, and how long the overall development could take. That's coming up next here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, it's Blaine with Smithville Ford. Want to hear my secret? Employee price is going on right now for everyone. But what's the difference in price? Great question. 2026 Ford Escape starting at $26,944. 2026 Expeditions? This will knock your socks off. Up to $9,000 off MSRP. And you get a lifetime powertrain warranty for free. Folks, go to SmithvilleFord.com right now because this ends July 6th.
What's got everyone talking?
That would be Talk of the Town Neighborhood Bar and Grill on 135th and Null and 119th and Quivira.
What's got everyone talking?
Everyone's talking about our daily specials, the best burgers and wings in town, great selection of beer and spirits. Oh, it's the dozens of TVs showing your favorite game.
That's what's got everyone talking.
This is Giannis, and now we're talking at Talk of the Town Neighborhood Bar and Grill.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC-Mo every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road.
You know how avoiding eye contact with people when your brakes screech makes it less awkward? It doesn't. But you can just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. We've got a huge variety of metals in stock, and we cut to size fast. Bottom line, we get it done fast, so you get it done fast. Doesn't get easier than that. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store or buy online at metalsupermarkets.com.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, it's Rob Brenton, and now the tournament has started here in Kansas City, we're keeping you up to date on Beyond the Pitch KC. So subscribe and download today. The podcast is presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
On the clock hour, Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the trash of the day in 20 minutes. We're also 30 minutes away from the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Video stream up and running on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook. Let's talk a little about the Royals, not on the field for a second, as we led the show with discussing the off day yesterday and a lot of fans wondering if something was going to happen. On the stadium front, though, yesterday, some of the planning and rezoning requests were filed. The KC Business Journal had, I think, the initial story on this, but basically they filed their urban redevelopment rezoning request for the 90-plus acre site for Royals Crown Center Ballpark District is what the official name of it is. Some of the information we already knew, but I think there's a couple things that are interesting and kind of gets us to talk more about the overall plan of the future there. We kind of figured this was the capacity, but they filed where it's a 34,000 seat capacity stadium, of course, in place of Hallmark's headquarters. And it also laid out where some of the other new buildings and some of the buildings that are going to be renovated. It also said, maybe more importantly, because this is like one of the first questions that we always get whenever we talk about the stadium stuff on the text line, is the parking. And the plan confirmed the Royals proposed supplying 8,219 parking spaces in the Crown Center area.
That feels like a pretty decent number. And probably without, I think the Business Journal points this out, this is more than a normal downtown stadium would offer. Look, their study said 9,000 vehicles on game days for the 34,000 fans is roughly what they would need. As a reminder, for those first few years, it'll be 34,000 on a lot of nights. Brand new stadium, there'll be big crowds. Maybe not the full 34 for every single game, but it's going to be big crowds. But with buses and the streetcar and some of these other rideshare things, they expect 9,000 vehicles need to be down in the area. Well, they're pretty much covering it. I also point out that the Fan Fest, doesn't this alone point to the idea
it should ease some of the
that we can get 34,000 people down in that area? We've been down right near that area this entire time with larger groups than that for a number of these events during the World Cup.
Yeah, I think it's been a good trial run. A little bit different, of course, circumstance.
They got extra buses running in and stuff.
Bus routes,
I get it,
the bus routes will not be that exact setup as for a baseball game. But to your point, in general, the area, it's been a nice little trial run. Now, in the same article from the KC Business Journal, they had a traffic study conducted to the Royals and Hallmark, et cetera. And it said, here's what they say. The Crown Center Ballpark District would be served by 18,257 parking spaces, Cody. So 8,200 are in the complex itself, and then over 10,000 off-site. So parking that already exists, right? Plus, not to mention, as you said, of course, there's some aspect of public transportation. People could take Ubers.
That's why they're estimating 9,000.
You could take the streetcar as well. And they estimate 67% of game attendees are anticipated to arrive by car, 15% using rideshare, 10% biking or walking, and then, as you said, the balance arriving via streetcar or bus, and that's based off of 34,000 seat capacity and total stadium capacity of 40,000. They put that because for the right situation on opening day or playoffs, standing room only, they could still bump it to 40,000 is what.
So it's still smaller than Kauffman on any given night, which is, again, I think where stadiums is probably going and probably should go. It also mentioned that they would do fixes to the 22nd Street exit on 71, 35's Penway Street. And if you've been anywhere near these, you know exactly what we're talking about. Then the 20th Street exit right down 35, which is a nightmare to get off anyway because you're like going on the side of the loop that you can only essentially get to that exit in about 4.5 seconds. And if you don't get off there, well, then good luck. You're going to Cambridge Circle or Broadway or Southwest Traffic Way and looping back around. Yeah, I'd probably fix that 20th Street exit too.
Yeah, they're going to have to do that. And then the part that another part I think is interesting that they don't have the answer to yet, it mentions here, is that the plan document notes as well that they still have to create a playbook for managing traffic on days with multiple overlapping downtown events. I think that was the one text we also got a lot of during the process.
What if there's a concert at T-Mobile?
T-Mobile's got a big concert. We all know sometimes the parking garages can be a pain in the butt to get out of there and everything. Some of it is people are going to have to get used to a little bit more of a time to get out of the downtown area than they're used to. But what does that plan look like? When a Royals game is getting out at 9:30 and there's also a concert going on, maybe getting out at the same time, around 10 o'clock in P&L. How do you handle that? And these are all things that they're going to have to come up with plans for.
I guess, as I think more about this and the complaints about the normal stuff that exists in large metropolitan areas as it revolves around major events. I want major events in the city. So I understand some of the headache that comes with it. I want things like the World Cup here, and I will deal with some of the headache that comes with it. I think some of this solution is simple. They are building an area for you to be so that you can be there for a bit, rather than immediately every time you go, get in the car and try to escape.
And that's not for everybody.
It's not.
For me, I'm excited about the possibility of being able to, for a 7 o'clock game, getting there earlier and having dinner or whatever, and then hanging out. For some people, they just want to go to the game and leave. You know
but
that.
On the Saturday night, Gold, you go to the game and you're like, hey, let's not deal with the traffic. Let's not go to the burnt down Denny's, but an actual restaurant with servers and maybe sit at a bar and get a drink. I don't know that the traffic pattern, because right now, and I think that, we all accept leaving Arrowhead in 47 hours or whatever the hell it takes to get out of that damn parking lot, unless you're willing to pop over curbs or your personal super secret way out. And that'll happen in the downtown stuff too, don't get me wrong. As someone who used to live in Waldo, leaving Royals games was the easiest thing in the world for me. It could be a sold-out playoff game. And because I was going the 63rd route, no problem for me. I just leave, no issue. So people will always have those. But I don't think it's the worst thing to say. You're going to have to plan your evening, at least, I get it. Tuesday night game's a little bit harder. Those will be less attended as time goes on. But the idea around planning not an immediate escape, and that at least there's something to do. Part of the reason I think we get bogged down leaving Arrowhead is because everyone's leaving at the same time, Gold, because there's nothing to do. Everyone has to leave at the exact same time because there's nowhere to go. Just nowhere to go.
One other element from the KC Business Journal is the time frame, because we know the Royals announced back on that press conference at the end of April, that opening day 2030, right? That's the goal. This anticipated construction window between 2026 and 2031. So I don't know if that's 100% solid opening day 2030. We'll see.
Also crazy that it said 2040 for all the development.
Yeah, so there's 10 areas part of this plan that the city commission I think has to vote on this coming up in August or something. But
by August 6th or something.
The remaining 9 areas have construction windows starting in 2027 and running between 2035 and 2040. That's going to be more of the other district elements to it. But yeah, it looks like the entire plan may not be done until 2040. Now, the stadium could already be open for 9 years at that point in time. But just the full scope of the entire thing, it's going to take some time.
It takes a long time. Even just look at the riverfront area where the KC Current are. It's years and years and years. Slow development, slow growth, slow build, but still interesting. I'm hoping we're closer to renderings with news like this, but at least thanks to the KC Business Journal for digging this stuff up. Little news, breaking news out of the NBA. Shams reporting LeBron James will continue his NBA career in 2026. He's not retiring, which most people didn't think he was, but he has officially informed the Lakers that the franchise can move on without him because he will play elsewhere in the upcoming NBA season.
And most people think that's going to be Golden State. That's the thought.
Yep, most people do think that.
So he's done with the Lakers. Okay.
I mean, it's of note the fact that LeBron James, one of the, I'll just put it so that nobody is going to fight with me on the show, 5 greatest? Can we all agree? I was just trying to think of a number, Drew, where we weren't going to fight with anyone.
Nobody's debating top 5. The only debate is going to be the MJ LeBron thing. Nobody's debating whether or not
he's top 2. It's not a problem.
Great. Top 2.
Either the greatest or second greatest player of all time.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be someone in here like arguing Bill Russell. Who, whatever. I don't have the energy.
What are they, 90?
One of the best basketball players to ever play is going to find his yet another team. Look, the initial thought is what I told you. His Laker tenure gets like a C because all-time great Lakers win championships, and his only one is a COVID bubble.
Yeah, he's not an all-time Laker.
No, he's an all-time NBA player. He isn't even on the billboard for all-time Lakers. He's like 20th, like genuinely, maybe 20th on the list. He's behind a lot of people who are worse basketball players than him, but accomplished a whole hell of a lot more as a Laker than he did. So, he's way down the list. But I don't know if this super team of geriatrics is going to work.
Good
luck. I guess I'm fascinated.
Yeah, I'm here for it because I mean, it will be pretty cool to see if it happens. Steph and LeBron on the same floor together on the same team. To me, that's pretty cool.
It does feel a little weird though. It's going to be. I almost don't want LeBron to join the Warriors though because it was at one point the best rivalry in the sport, hands down, and now you're joining together. I know it's not that anymore, but it feels like I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get used to it, or if it'll
look weird
because it's going to be a one-off. It'll probably be LeBron plays for 1 year with Steph Curry and it's done. It's like, did you need to do that? I don't know. It's going to be. He
had always said though, hadn't he, that he wanted to play with Steph? Hadn't he made comments in the past about that?
Yes, and he's ring chasing. He knows the inevitable
he
way.
He should join somebody else. Then they're not winning anything at Golden State.
West,
are you kidding me?
In the West, with the Thunder and Spurs still active there.
I'm not saying, but what other method? The way the NBA works is he can't just pick up and go to any team like in baseball and just immediately turn a roster around. He tried to do that in LA. It's hard. It's really hard to just plop on.
Who's ready to go right now?
Yeah, and that's a more difficult ask. Maybe the closest he can get is the Warriors. Were they a playoff team last year? Fringe?
They were in the
play-in tournament
and lost in the play-in, I believe, if I remember correctly. They were not in the playoffs, if that matters.
All I'm pointing out is that it's not. I am curious to see how it works. Although I wouldn't count on them getting past the Thunder or the Spurs.
Yeah.
Someone's asking, does Bronny have to go over there too?
His contract just became guaranteed today. His 2.1, I saw his 2.1 million just became guaranteed.
LeBron wanted to play with his son. He did that.
It'll also make it a lot easier on Bronny, I think, to be able to just do his thing. He got a lot better as the year went on, so I think he'll definitely be a part of whatever they got going on there in LA. But yeah, interesting.
He just got to the league faster than he should have gotten to the league.
He should have stayed another year in college. I think it would have helped him, but yeah.
What did he? Was he even?
There's a lot of guys that do that now, though. They go too early because the money or the.
Sure, but it doesn't help when your name is Bronny James.
And there's some pressure. Yeah, no, for sure. There's
going to be some questions on nepotism to go with fairness, you probably rushed to the league.
In fairness, out of all the players who have been all-time greats whose kids have come around, he at this point is prepared to be, I would say, the most successful. Michael Jordan's kids didn't make it to the NBA. Carmelo, Kai and Anthony is probably going to make it to the NBA at some point, but he's not as good as Bronny is, I wouldn't say. So, yeah.
Somebody said they think that he's going to go back to Miami.
No, I don't think so.
I think they've already kind of constructed their roster the way they're going to construct it, I guess. I don't know.
I think so, too, with getting Giannis already. I mean, Cleveland obviously is the one team that's still, I would say, open. I think the Knicks would be interesting. It just depends on what LeBron's willing to take, because the rumor was if he stayed in L.A., he wanted the max deal, which was 1 for $50, and he could be willing to take the vet minimum, which is like, I don't know, $5 million, $10 million, something like that, to go somewhere else.
I would love him to end up in Cleveland, just wrap it all up. Just put a
Go
bow on
Cleveland one more time.
Put a bow on the entire thing and end it where it started.
East is giving you a much better chance to win a championship, I'll say.
I think so.
And the Cavs were...
They were in the hunt,
good.
And then James Harden kind of was James Harden.
Yeah, playoff James Harden showed up, and unfortunately, then the rest slipped away. That's all. Just a little bit of news there in the NBA. Didn't want to do that. There was news in the NFL, though, yesterday, Gold, before we get to the trash today in just a couple minutes. And that's that the Lions, after we were talking about it, released Terrion Arnold. I got to say, what other choice do they have? If any of your players are facing life in prison, you just kind of have to make a choice here. And if you're the Lions, you can't have that kind of distraction around a team that is still trying to, I would say fleetingly, but cling to a championship window. Now, because, again, the Seahawks, I think, give a lot of teams revived hope. I think people don't realize from the outside looking in how good that Seahawks roster was. And they just see a team won a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. We can win one with Goff. And I don't think it's that simple. But Gold, the Lions had to release Arnold, didn't they? I mean, what choice did they have?
I think once the bail was $1 million and he was on house arrest and the optics of, he's going to be on house arrest, but he's allowed to just come to our practice. Like, think about that. I mean, that's a disaster scenario there from a PR perspective. And then who knows ultimately what the charges or how the court case is going to go and eventually a trial and everything is going to go. But they must have said this is going to drag on way too long. Maybe the commissioner puts him on an exempt list anyway.
I would.
Why mess with the optics of this? These are very serious charges. This is not even like, I'm not trying to downplay what some other players have done recently. We know even firsthand here.
But this is life in
we're
prison.
talking about we're talking about a life sentence potentially. It's a different level from a legality standpoint that he's accused of. Again, we don't we'll see how it all plays out in court, but it is very, very serious. $1 million bond is and house arrest. I mean, and could you imagine he's going to go practice and then go back? Like,
it wouldn't have worked.
I mean, he was granted that opportunity, but so he got that granted, and the Lions within an hour or so cut him.
No team will sign him. No team's going to sign.
You can't. You got to wait. You got to wait.
You don't have to put him on the commissioner exempt list because he's not going to end up on any team. No team is going to bring him in until this is done. And then he'll either be going to jail for a very, very, very long time.
Or he'll be found not guilty.
And then
he'll get a chance
and
to
then
play
a
again.
bunch of teams will take a chance on him because he's a former high-round draft pick who played well. So, and honestly, in a lot of cases, sometimes it's just like, I don't think you need that distraction in addition to fighting those charges. You probably just need to be focused on fighting those charges and trying to stay out of jail. Whether you are guilty of it or not, you were going to be trying to do whatever you can to try to prove your innocence during this next couple stretch. And look, I don't know what kind of evidence they got against the guy. The report is all the people who are accused of actually doing the crime said he is the person who facilitated and put him up to it.
Again, it sounds like the O.J. Simpson memorabilia case, if you guys
But
remember.
O.J. actually showed up to that hotel room, didn't he?
I don't remember. Did he actually go
I think
as well?
He did.
Okay.
I think he actually went
and
to the room.
O.J. didn't get life, but he got plenty of years in prison after the fact as well. So
I will say, I saw one small side note. I saw Nick Saban wrote a letter to him for the judge to try to make sure that he got
on
bail.
behalf of Arnold?
Yeah. And I was like, hey, man, I just wouldn't do that. Like, and this is no offense to but if Drew's like facing life in prison, and he's like, hey, I need you to write a letter to the judge and say I'm a good dude, I'd be like, I'm not going to put my name on that. You're a good dude in everything we've ever interacted with, but why don't you just go and beat those charges before I start defending you publicly? Drew, no offense, but I'm not writing that letter to the judge that, and all the other times I've dealt with Drew, he's a swell dude. I know he might be facing life in prison, but I'm not trying to get why. Like,
wasn't that letter? I think that letter was to try to make the case why he should be granted bail, though.
Yeah, but again, I'm just not writing that letter, I guess.
I think it's just Saban trying to help his guy out. I don't know if it's anything. It's not like he's like, hey, this guy's not guilty. There's no way he did it,
Yeah,
I know, but you're facing those kinds of charges. I'm not writing the letter. That's all. I guess
but again,
the
letter was to try to have so his
so he could get bail.
Was not in prison while waiting trial or whatever. To me, that's different than going out and doing an interview and saying there's no way he ever could have committed this crime. That's not
what some Aaron Rodgers teammates did, or Aaron Hernandez teammates did during his time.
To me, that's different than Nick Saban. I believe was writing a letter about his his interaction with said kid. And
but I mean, in a way, you're vouching for the person.
For sure.
He said, I write this letter because the exceptional character I witnessed in Terry Arnold over the more than 6 years I have known him.
Yeah.
Over the years, I've welcomed him into my home and around my family. He's consistently treated my staff with respect. I'm just not writing that. I'm not even saying it's not true. I'm not putting that thing to paper. No chance.
Yeah, I guess I don't have as big of a problem with that, especially when we're talking. He's not claiming whether he's innocent or not. He's
saying in his time with him, I didn't see any of that.
I mean, he has Terry on up to this point he had a podcast with Pat Surtain, and it was very popular. And he would talk about going over to Saban's house a lot. I mean, it sounds like if you're a college coach, you got to have a relationship with your players that goes beyond just the football field, anyways, in order to get them to go there. So.
Sure. I just, there's still just like a lot.
Don't expect Cody to write you a letter. No, we're screwed. If anything, you're in a bad spot. Cody's going to leave you out to dry.
You get found guilty and you want me to write a letter that
says...
He's
not been found guilty,
maybe
though.
Don't put him in prison forever.
He's not been found guilty.
Of all the people, I probably wouldn't ask either of you two to do that.
But do you realize how this letter reads? He didn't kidnap anybody while I was coaching him. Oh, cool.
But did he say that?
That's essentially what he's saying.
No.
Did he say if he said that in the letter? Then I guess you didn't have to include that. But I think it's
not.
Yeah, it's Nick Saban's. Yeah.
But he was just he was nice around my kid, so he's probably fine. That's how
because
it reads
when someone's
to me,
seeking bail, they're trying to prove that they're not a danger to society and not getting all these other things. They're trying to say, explain the character of their experience. That's why people don't get bail. They're worried about whether or not someone should be granted bail for either safety reasons. Are they violent? Are they whatever?
He got bail, so it all worked out for him, I guess.
All right.
For now.
All right,
for now.
Let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
All right, this one's local. Saw this on the news again today. It was initially a story from a week ago we didn't get to, but then there was an update today. Fireworks stands are popping up all over, right? 4th of July is this Saturday. Are you going to run to a stand to go? Do you buy anything?
Haven't shot a fireworks in years.
Really?
My dog hates it, so it's like I'm going to do it in front of my house.
Have I shot a firework off more recent than you then?
Well, I might have shot one off with you. Maybe when we did this outside, when we had you get a Roman candle or whatever.
Was it you that went out there with me?
Yeah, I think I went out there with you.
Okay.
When we had Drew. So,
anyways,
not always, not totally off the board, but not always.
This year, I don't know if we will. I'm going to the lake this weekend, and so we won't shoot any off on our area that we're at. But anyway, so I bring it up because a giant inflatable Godzilla was stolen in Jackson County from a family-run fireworks business. Anybody that's been to a fireworks stand, sometimes they have these giant inflatables.
You want to draw people in?
Absolutely. And so this is from Independence. A giant inflatable Godzilla was stolen from Godzilla Fireworks.
That makes
sense.
Their
owner's offering a $1,000 cash reward. This was a week ago, and then I saw Fox 4 was out there doing a live hit.
Still don't have it?
I still don't. They said someone broke into the store's trailer, took off with a 25-foot tall inflatable. It's the second time thieves have targeted the business. They also stole extension cords and lights for the fireworks tent. The business is now out thousands of dollars as it tries to replace what was taken and reopened.
It says it has sentimental value. It was bought by their father when he originally purchased the stand.
That's the only part.
20 years ago. Come on, give them their Godzilla back.
They absolutely.
Also, how the hell do you hide that thing?
You never inflate it for a while. I guess I don't know.
That's the only way to do it.
But the second you inflate it, it's a giant inflated Godzilla.
Yeah, I think two things. One, I like hearing that this was a family that has sentimental value with it, because at one point I was like, you know what? This also would have been a genius marketing thing. You could have claimed somebody stole it. Yeah. Now the TV station's talking about your fireworks tent. People are going to want to support you more and more. But no, this is something their family has had forever. So clearly it was stolen from them. Like you said, who's out here stealing inflatable Godzillas?
What do you think that thing cost to originally purchase? I just don't know what the hell you're going to do with it.
$3,500, it says.
Oh, $3,500 to originally
back at the time, 2 decades ago. So
we've talked about many different Cody and Gold businesses. We have had a fireworks stand, the Cody and Gold fireworks stand with a giant, not Godzilla, but some other version of it. That stinks, honestly. But I never understand the idea of selling something that I have no idea what you're going to do with. You can't resell it, too obvious. You can't inflate it to us. So what the hell are you going to do with it? Unless you're going to sell it to someone on
someone will sell it somewhere else.
Marketplace in a different state.
Someone said it'll be in the Cody and Gold garage sale
or eBay in a different state. Jeez. I don't have the means to steal a gigantic I have a hard enough time getting those inflatable twin mattresses back in their bag. I'm going to try to figure out what to do with a giant inflatable Godzilla.
Someone says
Not that
Drew's
kind of
most
time.
likely to keep the gorilla in his garage. He doesn't have a garage, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't have a garage.
Drew
But
doesn't have a garage.
Like, it's not going to fit in any...
Well, it's not inflated. I bet you, how when it's...
But it takes up a lot of space when it's...
I'm sure.
Like, I think about, like, my kid's tiny little bounce house. And even that took up some space, right, in the garage when it's all, like, put back together.
So, shout out to Godzilla Fireworks. Hopefully they get their mascot returned.
Get a G if you can find it.
Yep. It's located at 291 and 210 Highway. Go support them. That sucks for them.
Twitch says the
are
thief
we
is
going
going
to drive out there to try to find it and get the $1,000?
Well, what am I going to do? Go door to door?
Where are you going to... Yeah,
I don't know.
You think it's
This
just
is the
hiding in
best I
plain
can
sight?
do. Do you have it?
All I know
Listener
is...
of this show?
All I know is there's been a lot of weird stuff missing recently. We have the inflatable Godzilla. You guys probably saw the story last week, the giraffe that was missing. They finally found the giraffe.
It was missing for a week, a giraffe.
How's... Yeah, what? Nobody sees the giraffe anywhere?
They're so tall.
They finally found it, I believe. But
Yeah.
that was crazy from last week. The Godzilla, at least this is... You can... Obviously, it's inflatable, so you can see why nobody could find it. The giraffe, I still don't know how nobody saw a giraffe walking around.
Reed over on Twitch said the thief is going to sit on it for 10 months and then sell it on the black market. I think black market is something we say, but none of us actually know any method to actually get to the black market. Drew, can you get to the black market? Can you tell us how to
I have no idea.
hawk some stolen goods over there?
I'm
You
sure
can't
there's a
figure
way,
out,
but
you
I
can't
don't
figure
know
out
that
Facebook
way.
Marketplace. You can't figure out the black
I'm sure
market.
there is a way, but I don't know how to get that way.
Scoob also said Black Cat Fireworks been awfully quiet since that story came out. About this
They have an
missing
inflatable cat?
Maybe it's a, operational theft. Trying to get people to come to your fireworks stand instead,
Logan, who was filling in for you last week, he mentioned this is the first year that he's not working at a fireworks stand in a while. He used to work, he had a friend or family member that had, and he would sleep at the tent. They put him up in a camper because they for security and stuff. He would sleep on site.
And like wake up if you heard too much noise?
Yeah, basically.
That sounds dangerous as hell.
That's what he said. That's what he told us. He said he's not doing it anymore. Someone says it's the dark web, Cody.
I also don't know how to get there.
I don't either.
I don't know how to get to the dark web.
Someone says the dark web is where someone's buying an inflatable Godzilla on the dark web. I thought that was more for like real serious stuff.
Also, what's the market? Is someone's going to offer you a few $100 for your giant inflatable Godzilla on the dark web?
Someone wanting to know, Cody, if I got, going back to the Terran Arnold thing, if for whatever reason, if Gold's arrested and the whole bail thing, instead of writing a letter, would you sing a song instead?
Sing a song for...
And try to convince Gold to get out of bail.
What was that? What was the... It reminded me of this moment. You guys remember it's gone viral. It's very old. The clip of the guy in front of a judge that starts singing his apology. That's what I'm picturing.
That's probably about how it would sound.
That's what I'm picturing. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
That's
I don't know.
about
It's
how it
probably
would
like
go.
10 years old now
Could
at
have been a
least.
trash of the day a decade ago.
Oh, man. All right. Up next, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Let's talk about McCall Hardman. He was speaking a little bit on a documentary that's out there around the Super Bowl. I thought it was kind of interesting just to hear him speak about what was going through his mind as the Chiefs won that Super Bowl in overtime.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
As World Soccer hits the big stage, Fanatics Sportsbook is making every game day worth more. Earn up to 10% fan cash on your soccer bets, win or lose. That's real extra value you can unlock every match, all tournament long. And fan cash isn't just for betting. You can use it anywhere in the world of Fanatics. On game tickets, merchandise, collectibles, profit boosts, and more. One ecosystem, endless ways to spend. Plus, new customers get up to $1,000 in fan cash. That's $100 bet matched every day for your first 10 days. The world is ready. Are you? Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. CT, call 888-789-7777. MA, call 800-327-5050. NY, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics Sportsbook app.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. If you have breast, head and neck, or brain cancer, proton therapy may be a better treatment than conventional radiation. Don't wait. Get your second opinion at Kansas City Proton Institute. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced proton therapy team. Learn more at kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC Mo every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, it is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. We'll talk about some expectations, perhaps, for Peter Woods and R. Mason Thomas, as well as what McCall Hardman had to say on a recent documentary that is out around the Super Bowl. And we all know that he walked off a touchdown in overtime, but basically it was called I Scored a Touchdown is the name of the ESPN series that was released. But Drew found it during the break. We were mentioning the Cody not willing to help out anybody that maybe needs a character witness, I guess, or something. And Drew read a text from somebody that said maybe Cody wouldn't write a letter, he'd sing. And I said, that reminded me of that guy that sang an apology in court. And Drew found it during the break.
I never want to say I'm sorry for the things I've done. And I try and be stronger. In this life I chose, but I want you to know.
This is that really happened. We looked at March 10th of 2016.
Just
it was
randomly singing some Adele.
Guys in handcuffs singing to the judge.
Honestly, there's like one guy in the back trying to like hold the laughter, and he's like lowering his head a little bit. Everyone else is staring straight forward, and I don't know how.
Oh, man.
And I don't know how.
Man.
Like, it looks like other people are waiting their like quick little run through this trial end. But the idea of like singing as you're waiting for that. Whatever happened to that guy? He got convicted, right? How long did he go to jail for?
I did not look up the details on that. No.
Brian Earl Taylor was his name.
Oh yeah,
Ann Arbor.
What was he headed to prison for? He's singing he's sorry for.
It's gonna be something really bleak, isn't it?
Oh no.
Is this one of those like I shouldn't look it up because it's going to be
What does it say?
Carrying a concealed weapon is what he was convicted.
That's it?
With. Yeah.
That's it?
So he's probably out.
Good for him.
He just said,
all right.
He got asked why he sung it. He said, I love Adele's music.
His voice actually was pretty good. I mean, his voice wasn't bad.
I never want to say I'm sorry.
All right. Let's talk some Chiefs
He got
football.
2 years in state prison for that.
Okay. Was that did the singing help or hurt his cause? Was that like a lower sentence?
Hard to say. I don't know.
All
He
right.
was charged for carrying a concealed weapon and 18 to 15 months for unlawful imprisonment charge.
See, Cody, if you started singing, they had more time. They said, we can't have this happening at all. We'll work on your craft some more, please.
Could you imagine if I tried to sing in a court hearing? I've only been called. Have you guys ever? I've only been
jury duty
once. Just once. As you remember, I missed the show.
Knock on wood. Here's the thing. I've moved around, although I've been here back for 7 years now, but I had moved around enough. I got out of one time because I had moved out of the place that already, and so they're like, well, you don't live here anymore. But no, now I'm going to jinx myself. I feel like I'm way overdue. But I told you, in your case, you could just sing and they'll kick you out. Or you say, hey, I work at a radio station, and like, well, you can't,
Can I talk about this?
Yeah, they don't want us on a. They don't want that because they're worried they'll talk about it on the radio.
I didn't have to say a single thing. The time I went in for I didn't have to answer a single question. They just make you stand up there and say your name and age. I said that, and then they selected the jury without asking me a single other thing. There were all kinds of people trying to get out of this. I'm a man of the, like they would just stand up there and give their whole soliloquy to try to get out of it. Nah, I just sat there, and then eventually they told me to go home.
I've fortunately have not had to go for jury duty.
No, I certainly didn't have to sit on that jury. I just only had to go in for that. I missed the show because I had to go sit in for a morning, just hang out for a little bit, waiting to find out.
That's right.
Let's talk about McCall Hardman.
Let's do it.
Because I do kind of like reminiscing about some of the good times as last season went so horribly wrong. But I found it fascinating because we learned after the fact that the play was called Tom and Jerry. And at the time, I think McCall Hardman said he did not realize that ended the game as much as he realized he was scoring a touchdown. So it took him a second to realize, oh, no, you just had a game-winning walk-off touchdown to win a Super Bowl. Remember, the clock was going down, and then all the fans were confused on television because they weren't correctly explaining. And we were like at the actual game, and we're like, I don't understand how the clock works. So we had to like get on social media to understand how the overtime. Should they be moving a little faster? But it turns out they had an untimed amount. This is what he said was going through his head as he was scoring that game-winning touchdown.
My name is McCall Hardman Jr. I played for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
13 seconds to go in the overtime. The touchdown for the Chiefs would win it.
Hey, so good trick right bunch, F, shuttle, Tom and Jerry right, yellow.
Tom and Jerry right. That's all I hear. Once they call that play, I'm like, all right, I got a chance to get the ball here. I didn't see it until, it was like halfway to me, I'm going through literally everything in my mind. Like, you got room to turn up, you in the end zone, you did everything right. And all I can remember is like, what if I drop that?
Hardman dropped the ball. The Chiefs have won. The Chiefs have won.
But I called it, the rest is history. I'm just a small kid from Bowman, Georgia. Population, not even 4 digits. Glad to be a part of that moment forever.
I like that he said his first thought was, what if I drop it? Don't think about that. Recall, no.
Hey, just being honest. So this is kind of cool. So they're doing like this series of anybody that scored. Is it just if you scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl? Because it says I scored a touchdown.
Yeah, they're just doing like famous.
They're doing it with ESPN and lead up, I think, to
really
ESPN having the Super Bowl for the first time. I think because it was ESPN's account that put it out. So I think they're doing that in to past Super Bowls.
That's cool. Yeah, the Super Bowl is on ESPN, ABC this February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2027. So that would make a ton of sense. But that's cool. And yeah, if you're a Chiefs fan, that was cool hearing him talk about it again. Great memories. Unbelievable. Walk-off touchdown in overtime. Are you kidding me?
What's not to like? I mean,
in the Raiders stadium, the champagne. We were in the Raiders locker room afterwards. The champagne spraying in the Raiders locker room before they had a playoff game to celebrate. The Chiefs were spraying champagne for a championship
in their home locker. So yeah, and they're never going to be able to undo that. Raiders haven't accomplished anything outside of that. Little news out of baseball, by the way. Major League Baseball's communications page announcing we do have our first home run derby participant.
And
the reason why we're paying attention to this is because we obviously want Jack Caglione to participate. It's Junior Caminero from the Rays. He is the first officially announced participant.
He was runner-up last year.
Home run derby on July 13th at Citizens Bank Park. But he will attempt to become the first player in Rays history to win the event, but he is officially in for the home run derby.
That makes sense.
Junior Caminero.
Guy was a runner-up last year. One of the bright young stars in baseball. He's also having a hell of a season. He's got 22 home runs already. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that I had pointed out to. I thought Jack Caglione's career could mimic in the power department if given time. And I would say this month was the first month where he really started to kind of escalate the possibility of that. Jack, that is, because of the home runs he hit. But just so you guys knew, quick little sidestep is Junior Caminero is the first guy announced. So if you're like, when do we need to start paying attention to when Jack Caglione could get at it? Anywhere between now and the next week, we'll slowly start hearing all the different people who will be in the home run derby. How many total participants do we know this year?
That's a good question.
How many?
Isn't it like 8?
I don't know. They just changed the rules again.
But the bracket should
for the
still be
78th year in a row. They went back to the old rules, and now it's swings and not timers, and it's 8. Yeah, 8 this year.
Okay.
But no timers. It's 20 and then 15 swings for the semifinals and the finals. Did you know that they went back? They changed it too much.
They just changed it a week or so ago. People mentioning Caglione is hurt. We don't know how. We'll see if he's in the lineup today, though. He's not on the IL. So, just because he woke up Sunday with groin soreness doesn't mean that he's hurt.
And also, I'll be honest, if they were in first place in the division and he was having this issue, I'd say, yeah, maybe just have him rest. Keep his body healthy for the second half of the season as they vie for a playoff spot. They're 15 games under 500. I just want to watch him slug homers.
The Derby's also still 2 weeks away. So if he has groin soreness or whatever and he's back in the lineup today, then I don't think it matters for 2 weeks from now.
I agree.
Now, if he misses today, misses another day, then it's a different story.
He's going on the 15-day IL.
Oh, well, then it's over. Yeah.
Yeah, then it's done. But if he's available tomorrow and he wants to play in the home run derby.
Let Royals fans have something fun to talk about, please. Can we please Caglione in the home run derby, please? Royals fans deserve it. It's been a miserable season. Let us enjoy seeing Caglione win the home run derby, please. Give us something.
And hit 500-foot home runs, at Citizens Bank Park in Philly for the 250th. Mm-hmm. Just it just feels very fun. And the Royals' last home run derby participant was at Coors Field with Salvador Perez. And they never even talked about the guy. It was awful.
Oh, Bobby. Bobby was.
Oh, Bobby. Sorry,
Bobby was about 3 feet, 5 feet from. Yeah. Oh man, that was a fun show he put on too.
So Bobby put on a show. Salvies was unfortunately mired in an interview, and so we didn't get much of that. I want to see Jack Caglione hit homers.
It's on Netflix this year too, so you won't have the complaints about how they handle it. Remember, the Derby's on Netflix.
My only complaint about it is they constantly change the rules in search of them and just make it the system and stick with it. It's like, even if it's an imperfect system, you don't have to change the home run derby rules every couple of years trying to fight it. Just juice the hell out of the balls and let them hit homers.
Yeah, we mentioned yesterday. It's something we're keeping an eye on. There's some talk that people think the baseballs have already changed this year too, since end of April.
Yeah.
That more than just it's more than just the warm weather. That it's in the Statcast era. There's more drag on the ball or less drag. I'm sorry, on the ball. Some other things that are happening that people are speculating that baseball changed the baseball in the middle of the season.
Yep. They're saying that they ran out of the old one and the new one's fired up and it's homer heavy. Look. Baseball's been known to do that, so that's probably what's happening.
Not be the first time.
Nope. Won't be the last either. They know when they need eyeballs on or they want the ball hit over the fence, so it's fine.
All right, back to the Chiefs a little bit, and we kind of were alluding to this when we were discussing, the defensive line and the depth there and Felix's chances of making the team and all that. What are the real expectations, though, for Peter Woods and R. Mason Thomas? Two rookies. I think Peter Woods is a name that has come up during OTAs and minicamp a little bit more than R. Mason Thomas. Kind of been quiet around him so far. We'll see when we get to St. Joe just under a month from now. Our first show actually is going to be on Monday, July 27th, up from camp, and we hope to have a chance to talk to Peter Woods and R. Mason Thomas. But what is realistic? Because I still put them both in the similar category. If we're talking sacks, well then Peter Woods is probably not going to be somebody that's ever going to be, oh my gosh, 7-sack guy. That's not who he is at that.
Unless they got lucky and they found another Chris Jones, but that's probably unlikely.
Probably not. And it also, as I said, Drew and I were going back and forth in this a couple weeks ago. What role are the Chiefs asking him to have? He was a different player at Clemson one year to the next, and they had him in different. They had him all over, frankly, at Clemson, but they also had his weight at a different standpoint too each year. We don't know what the Chiefs are asking him to do yet. It impacted Omar Norman Lott last year. Remember, they had him put on some weight, if I'm not mistaken, and it maybe wasn't the correct decision. So Peter Woods, it's going to be, is he going to be a game wrecker? Are we going to judge it by what he does in the run game? We'll see. R. Mason Thomas, people are going to judge him off of the sacks and pressures. And I just don't know what the rotation is yet. So anything, if you said you were expecting anything more than 3 or 4 sacks from R. Mason Thomas, I can't get on board with. I would love for that to happen, but I think that's unrealistic. I don't even know how much he's gonna rotate in. He's gonna rotate with Gelati probably a majority of the time, right?
I think in the early going, yes. I do appreciate Brandon Kiley over at Arrowhead Pride had done just the hard numbers. Here are the guys taken between picks 30 and 50, where Peter Woods and R. Mason Thomas were taken over the last few years in the NFL draft, and the actual production they put forward. Felix Anudike-Uzomah being one of them, only a half sack his rookie year. Last year, Tuiluau, I think, was 0 sacks, 17 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Keon White was picked 46th overall. He finished with 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss. Then there's Karlaftis, who was taken at 30th. 6 sacks, one of the more productive ones of those guys. Logan Hall in 2022, 2.5 sacks. So, if you start going through the numbers, what you'll find out, Gold, is there ain't a single one of them over 6. George Karlaftis was since 2016, or all these players he pulled up, he's one of the single most productive guys towards the back end. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen, right? Franklin at defensive end and a couple of other guys over the years have been productive, or even just out of Atlanta last year. They saw some productivity for a guy in the teens. But the truth is, I think a reasonable expectation for any of them is somewhere between 2 and 5 sacks. And for Peter Woods, probably somewhere between 1 and 4 Gold and just being good at the other stuff. If you have R. Mason anywhere above 4, you think he's having a well above average rookie season for a defensive end drafted where he's going to be taken. Just plain and simple. Awe had 5, Karlaftis at 30, had that much. Rousseau had 4. He was taken at 30th, by the way. Yuder Gross Matos in 2020 had 2.5, and he's a good player. A couple of years from now, I think we just got to set a really reasonable expectation and not assume that it's not going well for R. Mason Thomas when he's got 1.5 sacks in week 11. That could be okay, depending on how the rest of it's shaping up, can't it?
Oh, and it's the progress though too. Is he noticeable on the field? Does he pop off on the field a little bit? And do you see him making an impact even if the sack numbers are not there? I just don't know if we'll have our answer also till training camp. I'm curious what the rotation looks like. I keep saying that, but honestly, we think Gelati is best positioned out of that group because it's year 2 for him. How's Norman Lott factoring in? What are they asking him to do this year? He's healthy. And then is R. Mason Thomas the next guy? Is he right after Gelati? Is it what's the percentage of snaps going to break down to be? And what's the learning curve? You know this as much as I do. There's some guys that Spags will talk about at training camp, and they've already kind of figured it out. There's other guys that are slower progress, and it's week 10. before it clicks. Heck, I remember we had George Karlaftis on the show the year after his rookie season, so his second year in the league. And we asked him at the time, like, when did things start to click? Because remember, Karlaftis' rookie year, he wasn't doing much
He
the
didn't have a
first
sack
6
for the first, 8 weeks.
Yep, and it was week 9, and all of a sudden, light bulb moment or something, and he was an impactful player going forward for them.
Yeah.
So it's happened. I understand Mason Thomas is not a first-round pick. Karlaftis was, but same kind of deal. I think our Mason Thomas Jr., hopefully by the time we get to the midway point of the season, is somebody that they can count on and rely on.
I don't think you can look at sacks for Peter Woods at all.
No.
And if Peter
You're
Woods
just going to feel his impact, or you
I
won't.
mean, he
You
didn't
just
get
know when
sacks
you
in
see
college. He wasn't he wasn't a pass rusher. He was a
That's
big
why
guy
17 won it.
he's a big guy that stacked the interior of the line. That's where, when we talk about who's going to have the best impact alongside Chris Jones, I think Peter Woods can have a really, really, really great season because has the potential to take pressure off of Chris Jones, maybe better than anyone else on the interior, even better than Tonga, just because of what player we know he can be based on the things that he showed at times against Clemson. I think he's going to be more of the guy that pops off the screen than it is his sheer numbers. Like if Peter Woods gets 2 sacks, that's a great season for him. I don't even I mean, that's not like, well, it's a fine rookie. Like that's a really good season. The most sacks he had at Clemson in one season was 3.
I guess my argument, though, is always like, I do think the sack number should be easier here than at Clemson because he's next to Chris Jones. Like, from an interior perspective, I just feel like.
I just don't think he's that much of a pass rusher.
No,
like,
I know.
He's more of like the space eater more than anything else.
George Karlaftis, by the way, got a half a sack in week 5. Did not get his first only full sack until week 11. But then he had one in week 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, and then another half sack in 17. So, once it fired up, okay. The numbers started to come around.
It's like it started to click randomly in the middle of the season.
But it's so hard because then you are really relying on Omar Norman-Lott or Gelati or somebody taking a step forward.
Well,
because in year 2, it's like I just need to get 4 sacks.
I hear you. I don't think that's asking for much. I mean, your resources are committed to Karlaftis, Chris Jones, and then you spent high draft picks still on Gelati and Omar Norman-Lott, and it's year 2 for them. It's reasonable to expect them. This whole defensive plan, for it to work moving forward this year and in 2027, R. Mason Thomas, Peter Woods, Gelati, Norman-Lott, multiple of those guys have to become impactful players for this defense, or they're in big trouble. In order for them to focus on the offense more, we think next offseason, wide receivers, etc. Those guys have to start showing up on the defensive line in year 2 for some of them, year 1 for others. Otherwise, this is going to be a roster that's going to have just as many holes next year.
Do you guys remember, we obviously know that Chris Jones and George Karlaftis are probably 1 and 2 in sacks. What do you think what's your best guess for, I don't remember now, I'm going to look it up.
For
who finished 3rd in sacks?
Last year?
Because that is part of the number. I'll bet it's 3 or 4 sacks.
I'll say it's Drew Tranquil or something. Believe it or not, a linebacker.
3.5 sacks is the answer.
Okay.
By the way, 7 sacks for Chris Jones led the team.
Yeah.
George Karlaftis second with 6. Charles Omenihu.
And he was not good.
And he stunk.
Yeah.
With 3.5. I will say, there is no way with the amount of draft picks and money they spent, there's no way they're worse than this in the sack department. It's impossible. Borderline impossible. I cannot conceive a world in which,
by the way,
they are worse at getting sacks than last year's team. Shamari Connor was 4th on this team.
He was tied with Drew Tranquil with 2.
Yeah. And Jalen Watson with also 2. Not a single other defensive lineman to be listed. All the other guys with 2 are all linebackers or safeties.
Yeah, see, that would be the concerning part. And they didn't. I mean, what did they do to fix it other than bringing in R. Mason Thomas? But you lose Charles Omenihu, you lose Malik Herring, you lose Mike Dana. The guys who are filling in. Sure, but the guys who are filling in did nothing. Ashton Gelati did nothing last year. Omar Norman-Lott was hurt, did nothing 100%. Last year, and they're filling in for those roles.
But it's not crazy. This is the one thing I'll say about doing nothing at defensive line. It goes back to the same stat we were just mentioning. Defensive linemen take time. Ashton Gelati getting 1.5 sacks last year, that's not abnormal. That's actually more than in line with typical production for a rookie defensive lineman in year 1
it would still make me, if I was a Chiefs fan, I'd be really nervous.
It's why it's the biggest question. I know people are worried about wide receivers. The biggest question I've had, who opposite Karlaftis is getting after the quarterback? We don't have that answer. We have the names that it has to be. but we don't know for sure. And no, I'm Drew and I are actually in agreement on this overall with the defensive line. I mean, this is why I would have liked to see Cam Jordan in a Chiefs uniform. I understand he went back to New Orleans, but Gelati is still the most primed, I think, to be a guy you can rely on. Now, that's not a sure thing by any means. It's year 2, and he wasn't some dominant player, but there were at least signs of it.
It feels like he has to be that guy in a way.
Right now, at least the beginning part of the season, I think it's a bit much to think R. Mason Thomas is jumping in week 1 and being an impactful player immediately.
I would count more on Ashton Gelati or Omar Norman-Lott. The difference is, though, Drew, like I'm not asking Ashton Gelati to take some step forward and be a 7.5 sack guy. I'm asking him to be Charles Omenihu. 3.5 sacks, and I've covered his production. 1.5 sacks out of Omar Norman-Lott, and I've covered Dana's production.
Yeah, but then
Covering
it's the same as last year, though. Like
nothing.
But if you want them to be better than last year, then Gelati's got to be better than Charles Omenihu last year.
I could just get Jones and Karlaftis to be better. 13 sacks between the two of them. I could just get more out of that.
Well, that's where Chris Jones had 7 last year. You need him to be at least 9.5.
Yep.
Karlaftis, you need him to bump back up to 9.5 or 10. And
he was hurt, clearly, based on the number of off-season surgeries he had.
So we'll see. I mean, this is why this is one of the biggest questions for the team. You know?
It is. But I think they're better positioned. It's hard for it to be worse. I'm not saying it can't be as bad, hypothetically, but it is genuinely difficult for it to be worse than an awful defensive line play and Charles Omenihu being your third best sack guy, and then a series of linebackers and corners being four.
Someone on the text line says, who's including Karlaftis? He's not a lock to be number 2. I think referring to number 2 in sacks. Who else do you, I mean.
Genuinely, I think he is a lock.
Who else is number 2 or leading in sacks if it's not Chris Jones or Karlaftis? Something went either terribly wrong with their health or it's a great problem to have, which means somehow one of these second-year players or rookies just came out of nowhere and had an unbelievable year. And then we're talking great things. I don't think, other than injury, there's a scenario where Karlaftis is not top 2 in sacks. I don't know how it's possible.
95% probability Chris Jones and George Karlaftis are 1-2. 95%.
Yeah, it's either a devastating injury that knocks him out for half the year or out of nowhere. I mean, it'd be a great problem to have. Gelati, Norman-Lott, or R. Mason Thomas, somebody just bursts onto the scene and becomes a stud for this team. It would be a great problem to have.
It is genuinely far, far, far more likely George Karlaftis leads this team in sacks than is below second.
I agree with that.
Significantly more likely.
Yeah, if he's healthy. All right, up next, guys, let's get to what's trending, then back into the Royals a little bit. It was an off day yesterday, and that usually prompts Royals fans wondering if change is on the horizon. Let's dive back into that right here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
On the biggest soccer stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them, but not anymore over at FanDuel. With FanDuel's Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. So if your player leaves the match, your bet will continue on with the substitute. So you're still in it until the final whistle. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now with the FanDuel Super Sub. We're about to get our first match of the day started actually here in the next 3 minutes or so. And then, of course, we'll be excited tomorrow when the U.S. takes on Bosnia. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started now with the FanDuel Super Sub. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event.
Get up to 0% on select 2026 Subaru models for up to 72 months.
And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Hi, I'm Sam Silvio with M. Shamus Brazilian Grill in the village of Burlington Creek. What's the best way to describe M. Shamus? It's a feast. A 14-meat, full rodizio, and 30 choices at our famous hot and cold gourmet bar. More items than most any other Brazilian grill experience. Dine in or retreat to our Inferno bar for lighter fare, small plates, and the best wine and spirits. Or enjoy our patio dining. Go to mshamus.com and discover the joy of eating.
Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan, as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road.
Fresh paint inside, fresh flowers outside. Summer at your house is looking good. During July 4th deals at Lowe's, buy one, get one free. Select interior paint via mail-in rebate. Plus, get 2 1.5-gallon red, white, and blue annual hanging baskets for just $15. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See store at Lowe's.com for details and requirements. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Use Polymarket to trade the World Soccer Knockout rounds. Delete that sportsbook app that's robbing you and join the millions using Polymarket. Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sportsbook. You trade against other fans, not the house. Polymarket, your go-to prediction market for soccer's biggest stage, available in all 50 states. Download the Polymarket app, use promo code FOX to unlock $50 free for your first trade. That's promo code FOX. Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
Train to push past the pain. Not athletes, just people. Men, women, and children trafficked every day in the United States. Sometimes by someone they trusted, sometimes by their own family. While millions watch the World Cup, they're fighting to survive in silence. Help us change that. Visit bluecampaign.gov/World Cup to help us break the silence.
Country music superstar Luke Bryan. Live. Word on the Street Tour. July 9th, Morton Amphitheater. With special guests Shane Prophet, Ray Lynn, Lauren Watkins, and DJ Rock. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Luke Bryan in concert.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay. Are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Hey, it's Rob Brenton, and now that the tournament has started here in Kansas City, we're keeping you up to date on Beyond the Pitch KC. So subscribe and download today. The podcast is presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Michael Waka from the Kansas City Royals, and you're listening to 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
First up on what's trending the news in the NBA today, that LeBron James has informed the LA Lakers that he will play elsewhere for the 2026-2027 season, what most people think will be his last year in the league. A lot of speculation on where he could end up. The teams that are being floated around the most appear to be the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Chris Haynes also just tweeted out from senior NBA insider for Amazon Prime and NBA TV, said the Cavs have interest in a second reunion with LeBron James with the appeal of the franchise's greatest player finishing his career where it all started. That's what I think would be cool, to just put a bow on the whole career. But the Warriors are the favorites in the betting markets to land LeBron. The thought would be the Warriors would trade for Anthony Davis from the Wizards, and so it would be LeBron, Steph, and Anthony Davis.
Be interesting to say the least. We'll see which way it plays out, but it's not going to be a Laker one way or the other.
Right.
Still a hell of a career with the Lakers, although it was just one title.
One title.
It was in COVID.
One title in the bubble, 8-time All-Star with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Or like that's what's kind of crazy to think about. And the Finals MVP.
In a weird way, it doesn't feel like he's been with the Lakers that long, but he's also like the oldest player in the league by a pretty considerable margin. Either way, he's coming back to play. We just got to figure out which team he plays with next. Next up on Watch Training, 3 finals yesterday. Brazil got Japan 2-1. Paraguay over Germany in PKs after their 1-1. And then Morocco, of course, won in Pit 1. We'll talk more about it later.
Elsewhere on Watch Training, the Royals are back in action tonight. They begin a homestand against the Tampa Bay Rays. Noah Cameron on the bump. 6:40 first pitch. Vern's on deck show is at 5:30. We're going to talk more Royals in just a bit. They're coming off an off day, of course. And the Royals sit at 35-50 on the season. We'll see if Kaggs is back in the lineup. Remember, he was out on Sunday due to groin soreness.
It'd be nice if he was back available for him. But paying him illegally, stuff there for a while. It's just hard for me to imagine that it didn't have something to do with it. But either way, they're not interested in Kawhi Leonard. And so he is likely to be traded maybe as early as today.
We know the Home Run Derby is coming up in a few weeks out in Philadelphia. We would like to see Jack Caglione in the Derby. We know one of the participants already just a few minutes ago, the announcement that Junior Caminero of the Rays will become
in the capacity to this level would put their stadium capacity in line with the ability to host a Women's World Cup match. Which Kansas City is also going to make an attempt, I believe, at getting.
We also would like some of this public money to at the Peanut on State Line. Just about everybody, I think, from the station is going to be there. You might have heard there might be some game on the televisions.
I have heard that.
While we're there, so you should come out and hang out with us at the Peanut on State Line tomorrow evening, 7:00 is when things get going.
Looking forward to it. I think I'm going to be there a little bit early. On the earlier end.
Oh, why?
Well, I got to do garage sale pickup tomorrow from 2 to 4.
Yeah,
and then
we got another pickup day.
I'm going to try to go see my grandpa for a little bit.
Nice.
And then I'll head over to the Peanut.
There you go.
Because he lives at like 95th and State Line. So I don't have to go that much further in order to get to the Peanut. So I just figured...
Yeah,
I'll go see my grandpa. You know, he's 96. You got to pop by, say what's up sometimes.
No, I mean, no, that's awesome. As you should. That's amazing. I was going to say, though, when it comes to the soccer match tomorrow, though, and the text line's been asking Drew, and I've gotten a lot of questions, and I said, look, I'll have to ask him on air. I don't have the answer to it, but I think it's a fair question given your history. I know Drew will be supporting the United States. I know I'll have my USA kit on. Text line keeps asking if you will have your Bosnia kit on, or will you be rooting on the USA, or are you going to be rooting for Bosnia?
Kit, but
I will be rooting for the United States.
Phew, okay. Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way.
In this
I
World
think
Cup
it was
match.
a fair question once again from people. A lot of people are confused given your prior comments.
Much like the High Point jersey, there's no way there's somebody who owns a Bosnia jersey,
I would
right?
be
in the city.
surprised.
Like if I said I want to
the chant, or you'd have to you'd have to really dive in and lean
these
into
guys
it.
boo me the entire match while we're sitting there hanging out at the Peanut. That'd be something. That'd be something.
Learn your, what would that be, like Slavic?
I don't know the chants.
Is it,
yeah.
like, no, language, like in Bosnia. It's like it's Croatian. Is it like a, I think it's like Slavic or Croatian. I don't know as far as the language they speak. You gotta study up, Cody.
Their Bosnia and Herzegovina have 3 co-official languages:
Serbo-Croatian.
Bosnian, Croatian, and Serbian.
Okay. All right.
Like a Serbo-Croatian. I told you, one of my good friends growing up, his parents were like straight, like from Croatia. He was just first person in his family born here, and they spoke Croatian to each other.
There's the big Bosnian population in St. Louis.
Such a small world sometimes, this city is what we learned. It's like, it just doesn't feel like I'd randomly run into somebody in a Bosnian jersey.
Text lines, they're going to keep an eye on you at the party tomorrow night to see if you suddenly are smiling if Bosnia is doing something well.
And keep a close eye.
Hopefully Bosnia just doesn't score.
That would be easier. On a single time there's a Royals off day, I get an influx of questions from my friends or from the text line or the chats. just saying, who's getting fired today? They're off. So they got free time sitting around on the couch just waiting to fire somebody. And I guess I am in the minority in the sense that I'm not in a hurry to fire anyone. Not saying they're doing a good job. I want that to be clear. They're doing a bad job. The Royals team are doing a bad job this year. Some of the players, not all of them, but some of the players are doing a bad job. Managers not doing a great job. I think the front office had a struggle in doing their job this offseason. It's now led to more failure inside this season.
It's an organizational failure.
It's been a failure from top to bottom. There's no question about it. Firing everybody on June 30th or June 29th, yesterday off day, doesn't solve anything for me. I do find it of note that in the offshore books, they say Matt Quatraro is now the odds-on favorite to be the next manager axed. He's not getting fired in season, though, is he? The Royals don't seem like the kind of team that would ever make that rash of a decision this quick, even if we agree. And I agree with some of the concept of like some of the things he's doing I don't agree with and think that they need to do something different. But I'm also not calling for anyone's head on June 30th. It's not going to do any good. I'd rather wait it out and see what happens.
Yeah, look, in season, I don't think at this point you're 15 games under 500. The calendar's about to turn in July. I don't think it changes anything for this year. But we've all been around sports long enough. When you have a season where you enter and the expectation is one thing, in this case, to compete / win the AL Central, and you're 2 years removed from a playoff appearance, and it's trending in the wrong direction after missing the playoffs last year and winning, 80 games or whatever, and then now you're pacing for, I don't know if they're updated pace, Cody, 96 losses? I don't know if the updated pace is.
I mean, they're 15 games under 500, and they're just about halfway through the season, so probably
okay, so right
65 wins-ish.
Okay, so when that happens, accountability is more than fair to ask for fans. I don't think in-season changes anything, but there's no way they can, if this continues on this path, which there's no reason to believe that they're not going to finish in this range of well under 500, you can't just run it back. That is not acceptable.
No,
and so
I agree with that.
That does not
I very
mean,
much agree with that.
That does not mean that the GM, JJ Picollo, and Matt Quatraro are both gone at the end of the year, but you cannot have everybody involved still around. Otherwise, what does that tell your fans? That this is acceptable? That's where John Sherman has to come in to this whole equation. Is it more likely the manager's out than the GM? Yeah, I think we just see that in sports all the time. It's just the nature
of the coach or pitching coach.
But it's no question. There is plenty of blame on JJ Picollo, plenty of blame on Matt Quatraro, plenty of blame on the individual coaches, Alex Zumwalt, et cetera. I think we all recognize plenty of blame on the players. We just know that they're not getting rid of everybody. So the core is the core group, right? They're not. Michael Garcia has been disappointing from what he did last year. They're not getting rid of him. They just gave him an extension, nor should they, right? Bobby Wood Jr. obviously is playing still at an MVP level. Caglione is coming on. Carter Jensen's got a 19 or 20 game hitting streak right now. Salvador Perez, the reality is that situation next year, there has to be a conversation about what kind of role you're going to have on the team, though. Those conversations
you're not the
has to
everyday
happen.
catcher somebody else is. Yeah. And look, that comes with the Carter Jensen defense still needing to improve and some of this other stuff with the coaching staff. But they have an issue in that I don't know that it resolves your issues in there. I fear they will use this most recent bash of injuries as we were gonna get back in it.
No, we can't let that happen. That's just not.
I agree.
That's just a.
It's unacceptable in my opinion.
That is not what happened this year.
Not that the injuries derailed the season, because we all know that that's not the truth. Mm-hmm. But that we were getting ready to get back in this thing, and then oops, everybody got hurt. No. And injuries do happen over the course of the season. If you not played yourself out of it, what we'd be talking about is, hey, can you just hold court? Because their last road trip with all their injuries, Gold, was actually, even despite the fact they got beat 50-0 in 2 straight games, they had a winning road trip. And I probably would have accepted that considering all the injuries. If they were in the mix.
You're 15 under 500.
If they were in the mix before that thing started, and that inevitably is kind of the issue, is that
in the offseason, everything's on the table, though, in the offseason. I don't think in season anything's going to change. But I've said it over and over. I still think fans, frankly, are kind of owed, considering the last time we heard from John Sherman was
it'd be good to hear from the top.
At a press conference announcing the stadium with, hundreds of millions of dollars in public money being used, that it is more than reasonable for fans to say, hey, would like to hear from you. You're right. The owner can only say so much that's going to appease fans. But I just think the optics of the owner acknowledging, hey, I'm just as ticked off as you guys are about the season, or that, hey, this is not acceptable. We're going to do our best to get it corrected, yada, yada, yada. ultimately, there's going to be some fans that won't be happy until Q or JJ are fired. And that's fine. That's everybody's prerogative. And if you're wanting the owner to come out and say that, then that's probably not happening in season. But I still think it would not be the worst thing in the world to hear from John Sherman on how this season has gone, and for him to express how it's not acceptable. I think fans want to know that this right now, when it's quiet, fans just think, okay, is this, you got your stadium and that's just allowed?
That's the problem.
That's what it feels like. I don't think
I
that's how
I don't think that's actually what's happening.
But that's what it feels like for a lot of Royals fans. I've talked to them. You've talked to them as well, out and about, friends. That's how a lot of people feel.
I totally agree with you in the sense that is the public facing part of it. Look, John Sherman doesn't want to get in the way. He doesn't want to seem like, and look, it's a really fine line. You and I both know that it is bad to have the owner who wants too much involvement. Like they need, I don't want Jerry Jones either, right? I don't need somebody in every single tiny thread of my organization. You can be the money, but when it comes to failures of this level, that was the question I'd asked you earlier. Like to me, it's like a scale of failure. Every season for every sports team comes with this like degree of failure. It's like if the U.S. were to lose to Bosnia tomorrow, what is the degree of failure for the U.S. men's national team? And the answer is, it's a bad failure. It's not the worst I've ever seen for a U.S. men's national team, but it's up there, right? For this Royals team, considering they were a playoff team 2 years ago, have one of the best players in the sport, seem to have a competent roster put together, or should have had a competent roster put together, it's a really bad failure. Like on the scale of 10 is the expectation we had. Compete for the division, make the playoffs, win a playoff series. That's a reasonable expectation we all had. That's a 10. I'll give you a 10 out of 10 if you just met your expectation. This is like a 2. You came up way short so far. You're not like kind of off or a little bit and just one or two things away. No, everything went wrong. It all went wrong from the beginning. Carlos Estevez not being right to now when half the team is hurt and unavailable to play and everything else in between. It's been really bad. Really bad.
Even though we can sit here and say, okay, they're probably not going to make any changes if there are any to come in the future in the regular season. The one thing, though, that they have to, I know publicly you never want to, you're not, no GM in baseball is publicly going to say, yeah, we're throwing in the towel, we're trading everybody. But there's nobody, even the tricky one is Michael Walker only because of what 2027 rotation looks like, but he might bring you back the most. Everybody else, other than Bobby and Cags, basically, essentially, with, and maybe Carter Jensen. Like, other than that, like, everybody else, you got to listen. You got to listen to every single trade offer. And there's some guys that, even though you're not going to get much for, you're going to move on from, right? Like, I think ultimately...
Lane Thomas or whatever.
Sure. Like, why wouldn't you trade him, right? These are things that in the next month or so, I guess we're about a month out for the deadline, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, give or take. Right in there. I was just trying to look at if anybody's started to put together their must list. Somebody had their article of who has to be traded, and the must-trade list was Lane Thomas, Starling Marte, Schreiber, Bubic, Strahm.
But those should be easy. Those should be easy guys to move on from.
And look, everybody doesn't get traded just because of the way it's probable.
The tougher one is Lugo and Waka.
Waka, Lugo, Lynch, Lang, those are the probable. Urseg.
Daniel Lynch should get traded. He's probably never going to pitch this good again.
Probably not. Bullpen arms come and go. Like I'm less married to them than just about anybody on the roster. So you don't have to talk to me about it. Like you mentioned, 10 minutes from now, we'll talk more World Cup as there is a game in action right now, currently 0-0, 20th minute between Norway and the Ivory Coast. So we'll keep an eye on that one as well. As a reminder, every time we talk sports over here, baseball, our coverage is brought to you on 96.5 The Fan, presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi, one price, 5 years, guaranteed. Xfinity, imagine that. There was a story out yesterday, as I assume you saw too, or a couple weeks ago, about Diana Rossini FaceTiming a coach to get out of a ticket. Well, it turns out that's not exactly what happened, although I would argue what actually happened, Gold, wasn't good either, as we now have body cam footage of her being pulled over in this circumstance. And I got to say, before we play...
The FaceTime and the coach
story... She didn't FaceTime the coach. That's a lie. She
just did it for clout?
I would say exaggerated what took place is an effort to make the story seem cooler than it was. I will say, she definitively in this clip shows the cop her phone of her texting with an NFL head coach. They're not FaceTiming, though. Does she prove to this cop that she's actually messed with those people as a way of clout to get out of the ticket, of which she did get out of, I might point out? She did, but like, just listen to this interaction with the cop as she got pulled over.
So,
What is your team?
I'm a Vikings fan, unfortunately. That's it.
Can you see the name?
Oh my God. Can I see?
See what I said? Look what I said to him about
Kevin O'Connell.
Go to the bottom.
Oh my God. Wow. Pretty cool.
Dude, I love the Vikings. They're awesome. Chaos is awesome.
Yeah. He seemed like a good
Your
dude.
quarterback sucks, though.
Yeah. So he's got to fix it. He's got to turn it around or someone else is going to get him.
So that's the police officer interacting with Diana Rossini at a traffic stop.
She shows a text exchange between her and Kevin O'Connell.
She claimed on a podcast that she FaceTimed the coach or whatever. But now the issue is not only did she just lie a little bit, but also now you just explained to everybody you're basically one of your sources. Like, clearly you text with Kevin O'Connell, and that's public record and public knowledge, et cetera. So she just, what a mess.
At this rate, it doesn't matter for her.
What do you mean?
You think she's just out of the game?
At this rate.
Well, stuff like this makes you. I don't know why you would hire her to
she's been out, in my opinion. Where anything that comes out,
she needs to just start her own podcast and make some money that way, and people will listen to her at least for a little while.
Yeah, just go to Barstool,
or something, or Outkick or something. But she can't go and work for like an actual reputable journalistic outlet anymore. That's over.
Well, and it goes back to like she had a story out about how
she's just a liar. She's a liar and not a great person.
No,
okay?
She had a story about how
just get real.
The GM at the time didn't want Aaron Rodgers, but that other people in the organization did. Well, it's probably Kevin O'Connell who wanted Aaron Rodgers and not his crappy quarterback. I will say, J.J. McCarthy catching a stray at that traffic stop. Damn, that's tough. He didn't even do anything, Drew. He just out here minding his business, trying to get better at the spot. And Diana Rossini to a cop is just like, he stinks.
Your quarterback sucks.
Your quarterback sucks, though. That is brutal.
I mean,
wow, pretty cool.
Dude, I love the Vikings.
Yeah, he seemed like a good dude.
Your quarterback sucks, though.
I mean, this could also be something, as far as we know, Kevin O'Connell has said to her off record, hey, man, J.J. McCarthy stinks.
Well, we kind of know how they can act like they have a quarterback competition this summer all they want. Kyler Murray's going to start week 1. But yeah.
Without question, he's starting week 1. Why make that up, though? I mean, we all know that there's footage of it. The story
She
on that
also
just
might
gets
not be
worse
talking
and
about this
worse.
one if she's been pulled over multiple times. As far as we know, this isn't even the one she's talking about.
She did get pulled over for using her phone, which is not surprising. Like, I can't imagine Adam Schefter's any good about getting anywhere. Does he just get driven around?
Probably.
He can't be behind the wheel of the car. I've seen him and Rappaport. They never put their phones down.
Right.
Like, they never, ever. The most I saw Ian Rappaport put his phone down was when he was singing to Bret Michaels, singing to Poison
at
when we
the
were at the draft.
Yeah, Cody was videotaping Ian Rappaport singing at the draft.
Drew, he was into it. He was getting down to some Bret Michaels at the draft.
There you go.
So I just felt like, honestly, it was important that we catch this this moment where he's really enjoying it. If we ever have him on the show, which I imagine we will somewhere down the road, I'm sure joke about it. But again, it's kind of crazy that she's showing. It's one thing to show a contact too, like, look, I have Kevin O'Connell's number. Then here's our text exchange. Why are you showing that to the cop?
She was trying to get on the ticket.
It worked.
Like, it did work. Yeah.
You ever just gotten a warning?
No, I've only been pulled over, knock on wood, twice, and I got
the ticket both
2
time?
speeding tickets.
I do think this makes it actually look worse on the cop. Because if it was a FaceTime, at least it was a FaceTime. You didn't even talk to the person. She still got out of the ticket? Come on, man.
Yeah, I imagine they don't care.
The police, the
Depends
sheriff,
on if they were trying to.
the sheriff's office or whatever put out a statement about the non-ticket, and they put out like some policy. Somebody that's in law enforcement here probably can attest to it more, but basically they acknowledge like that wasn't breaking protocol or whatever by not because it's
you're allowed discretion
I think is what they were saying.
Now I will say I don't think you should be giving warnings just because she had Kevin O'Connell's phone number.
But they could argue that's not why. They would
could say
argue
that they would
that's
just be
not
like,
why.
hey, don't use your phone while you're driving.
Correct.
And they would give a normal warning, and that the interaction outside of that was inside of their protocol.
All right, up next, let's talk more about the World Cup. You mentioned it, 3 unbelievable matches yesterday and how they ended and why we actually like PKs and why I don't know why people don't. We'll get into that, plus hear an England player's experience in Kansas City next.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
I wonder if Diana Rossini was driving a Ford. I don't know, but perhaps if she was, she would have gone over to Shawnee Mission Ford. Employee pricing is going on right now. That's what you're going to do if you go to Shawnee Mission Ford, because you can pay what they pay. They're on a mission to do more over at Shawnee Mission Ford. American value for American value. So whether you're talking about the best-selling truck in the F-150, or perhaps you want to have a little more fun with an all-electric vehicle like the Mustang Mach-E, save some money on gas as well, you can find those all over at Shawnee Mission Ford, plus the whole selection of pre-owned vehicles as well. And again, you have a couple more days to take advantage of employee pricing. You're going to pay what they pay. And also, over at Shawnee Mission Ford, they offer an exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty. So that goes beyond the Ford manufacturer's warranty that typically is, 5 years, 60,000 miles? No, it's a lifetime powertrain warranty only at Shawnee Mission Ford. So go into Shawnee Mission Ford or go online to ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Hello. Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spell book.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Our nation's 250th birthday calls for a really big party. And Hy-Vee is here to help with really big savings on everything you need. Load up the grill with tender baby back ribs, just $3.28 a pound. Whole seedless watermelon, only $4.48. Frito-Lay chips for $2. And Pepsi 8-pack bottles or 12-pack cans, just $3.99. Stock up on your favorite beer, wine, and spirits and get the party started. This Wednesday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Soccer Fever is in Kansas City, and Hy-Vee is your headquarters for official merchandise, apparel, tailgate, and watch party needs. And Hy-Vee makes game day so easy. They have ready-to-go wings, pizza, party trays, charcuterie, and, of course, all those delicious sweet treats. If you're planning a cookout, great. Hy-Vee's special recipe brats, burgers, and steaks are the best. Check out their Match Day Meat Bundle for only $30. And don't forget about Hy-Vee's wine and spirits department. For all of your game day needs, count on Hy-Vee.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
I hear the sizzle of the grill. It's time to buy Gates sauces and seasonings for your 4th of July cookout. Make sure to use both for a boost of flavor on your dips, chips, and more. Try Gates salad seasoning on raw or cooked vegetables and sprinkle over corn on the cob to give it that extra flavor pop. Stop in and pick up a couple of slabs of ribs or a party tray to serve this 4th of July. Whichever, Gates has you covered. All 5 locations will be open this 4th of July. Gates has proudly served Kansas City for 80 years. Thanks with love.
Future you wants to have fun on the 4th. So get set in one stop at Target's 4th of July sale. Get 40% off women's dresses, skirts, and shorts. And for the kiddos, shorts are 20% off. What's a celebration without something tasty? Frozen treats are BOGO 25% off. Plus, you save 30% on soda 12-packs when you buy 3. Have fun all weekend long. Shop Target's 4th of July sale. And Saturday, restrictions apply.
Spreadsheets, clunky software,
100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Royals coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, a contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Located in KC and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC Mo every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road.
We're keeping an eye on the first match of the day, round of 32 action out in Dallas, or down in Dallas, Norway in Ivory Coast.
Not been blown away by Norway yet. Drew, I'm assuming you'll agree. Ivory Coast has been the much more aggressive team so far.
I mean, they're basically even. This is why this is probably thought to be the best match of the day. They're basically right next to each other in the rankings. So
we'll see what drama we have
for this.
What drama we have for this one, and then later, the one I'm excited about later on tonight is going to be Ecuador and Mexico. I think that could be another epic one for us tonight. As yesterday, hard to top yesterday though, guys.
Yeah,
that was incredible. It's been an unbelievable World Cup already. But yesterday we got 3 matches. You had a stoppage time goal from Brazil to win it, and then we got back-to-back matches with PKs. Right, Germany, of course, ended up losing, one of the biggest upset so far in the World Cup, and then a game that lasted quite a ways into the night last night. Especially, this is why I love not being on the East Coast. Could you imagine? You would have been that game wouldn't have got over till like 12:45 on the East Coast or whatever. So last night, seeing the Netherlands lose, and the Netherlands for us here in Kansas City, it's a bummer to see them go home because that means their time in Kansas City is coming to an end. But it was also cool to just see what Morocco was able to do, and they were the better team throughout much of the match. I think PKs, guys, are awesome. Like, there's always a debate. Every time we get to PKs in a World Cup or crucial moment, there's people that come out of the woodwork and say, this is a terrible way to decide something so significant or whatever. I think it's awesome. And maybe that's the casual soccer fan of me. The drama, how tense it is, the storylines, like, it is, and the pressure gets to some of these guys more than others. There's some luck involved, of course, with the goalkeeper guessing, but they study up on some of this too. It was awesome, and specifically when we saw, it looked like for a little bit that Paraguay was about to just choke in PK. They had the advantage for 2, and then it ended to sudden death.
I thought, well, yeah. And when after the final one got blocked, you're like, well, not going to win this match now. And you had it in your grasp and the huge advantage, and they still came back. And Morocco obviously settled their thing later that night. I do not understand. Like, The Athletic had an entire article up today. How we would fix it. I'm like, what do you mean fix it? and look, I know everyone's overtime's a little bit different. I would argue PKs are better than any overtime extra inning setup we have in any of the American sports.
In terms of drama, I agree. I don't know if it's like technically the best
Yes.
I just think for drama and entertainment value,
That's what I want.
and that's all I'm looking for.
I think the purists are like, no, it should be decided as a regular part of the game. No other sport decides it that way. Except for, I guess, baseball.
Plus, we already
other
had
than the man on second. Just both teams still get a chance to do a thing. But, like, we just played 120 minutes.
We already also get, let's not ignore, like, there's still 2 guaranteed 15-minute extra time period. It's not as if we went from, we didn't just go straight from full time to right into PKs. We had 2 15-minute periods with no golden goal. There was plenty of time for it to be decided in quote-unquote normal soccer.
Agreed. And, like, I guess what's the difference between, like, an NFL game that gets decided on a last minute field goal? Is that really true to like how the rest of the game? It's all the same, like it's,
what, let's go ahead and
the drama
play,
is unmatched.
Let's go ahead and play another 60 minutes. And if it's the 179th minute, then that team will get throttled in the next round because their legs are gone. And then it'll be a waste of our time to even watch the match. That's why there's PKs.
Yeah.
They give you the extra 30 minutes. Here's your opportunity. Both teams, even if one scores, you get a chance to answer. In 30 minutes.
Someone said,
and then if it doesn't, it goes to PKs.
Should they decide championships? Yes. Because it decides every round and every moment up until that point.
If that's what it ends up being, again, there was 120 minutes or whatever.
And that way last time around when Argentina won.
120 minutes to decide it in normal soccer. I don't see why it's crazy to go to PKs.
I guess that argument would be like home run derby in like the 16th inning, but I wouldn't care.
Well, and I do
if they said after the 15th inning that 2 teams got to like throw sluggers up there and they took turns trying to hit the ball over the fence. Okay. That sounds awesome.
I get it. Like from this text, and this is the I think an opinion from a lot of people that played the game.
Yeah.
Someone says PKs are entertaining to watch, but as a former college soccer player and coach, it's the worst way to end a match. We've heard that for years, and I get that. As I told you, I'm just looking for the entertainment aspect of it. And man, I don't know if there's anything more entertaining than PKs and a World Cup and the stress and the tension that we all saw yesterday.
I just don't think you can do it because if the match is so even and there's no goal scored for 180 minutes, there's going to be the team that wins will have no legs left.
I just do wonder, and like it won't stop at 180
left with that team. You are doing them a disservice by forcing the game to continue.
If you did it like 20 years in a row, let's say you offered it, so every 4 years, let's say we got through 4, 5, 6 World Cups, Drew, whatever, there'd be one that went past 180.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like, you can't play for 200 minutes.
Everyone would be so gassed. Do you think the play's going to pick up? They'll be like at minute 2:27, and we're like, come on, guys, nobody wants to watch this anymore.
Yes, and
it's not an enjoyable match anymore for anybody.
And Alexi Lalas has been consistent in saying this, I think. Alexi Lalas is, what a goal from Norway, too, by the way. That was very nice.
Yep.
I think Alexi Lalas is right in saying that, PKs are a skill because, like you said, the goalies go into so much training with the iPads. Hey, here's a tendency. This could be a tell. This is what they do a boatload of the time. They go here or they like it here.
But there were 2 that airmailed yesterday.
Well, yeah, but I think that's where you get the nervous part of it in is if you're the goalie, that's from your side of things. And a lot of it is just kind of guessing where the other player, you get 120 minutes to figure it out. And then at that point, it's just as much mental as it is actually being able to execute what you're trying to do by kicking the ball. I think mentally being able to isolate yourself and zone out from everything that's going on and all the nerves and lock in for a 1v1 it's fascinating to have a match end in that. And it absolutely is more of a skill, I think, than what people kind of give it credit for being. I know it's not maybe
the most. They see the guy like lay on the ground when they just guess wrong sometimes.
Yeah, it might not be the most aesthetically pleasing way to go about it, but you can't. But it's always been a part of the game. It's not like this is just introduced during the World Cup or this is just introduced during, certain competition. Like, for the most part, this has been throughout soccer for the tournament-style play for as long as I can remember, at least.
I mean, it's every soccer game I ever played in, like, the mid-'90s. I look, all that stuff reminded me yesterday. The Paraguay is like, the U.S. just can't, like, sleep. Like, tomorrow, we'll talk more about the match before they take it on, but it's like, don't take anyone for granted.
Can beat anybody.
There's been upsets already. You had pointed out that you felt pretty good about, like Morocco got the not maybe mild, but like an upset technically if you look at it from a betting perspective.
Yeah, that one was closer than any of the other matches though. That was truly more of a coin flip in the betting markets. Whereas Paraguay
was an upset.
Oh, absolutely. Germany was minus 600 to win.
Yeah.
The U.S. for record is like minus 800 tomorrow, minus 750.
But that's not that far off.
Yeah.
As far as like the level of upset.
In terms of like the difference, so Germany, I think, was 7th in the world. Paraguay was 34th. The U.S. is like 15th, and Bosnia is like 51st. Or maybe even up in the 60s because they change it every week or every day, something like that.
Change it every day. Like, what's the point? Once the tournament starts, I don't really care where your rankings are anymore.
It would be a bigger upset if Bosnia beat the U.S. I think than Paraguay beating Germany. But I think the style of play, I'd be a little bit worried to your point, Cody, about just. I think Bosnia, the way that they win the match though, is packing it in and just surviving and hoping that their goalie has a day, and you just survive through extra time. You survive the 90, then you get an extra time, and maybe you execute on one of the counters that you get, and you like Paraguay did. They found a way to go up 1-0, and at that point, the pressure was all on Germany, and they just packed it in and still found a way to get to extra time and through to penalties.
Could Holland look more like a die-hard movie villain? I mean, sorry, they're in the match right now, and if you're
almost another goal for Norway, they just missed.
He's
again.
one of the best players in the world, obviously, Holland, and so like he just looks like a movie villain.
They I don't think you were here for this. They estimated that his 40 would be between 4.12 and 4.3.
Okay.
And he's like 6'6", 6'4".
I don't believe that estimate.
Why?
They go based on the tracking data that they have on the field of how fast he runs.
He's not running a 4.1.
I'm just telling you what I'm telling you what
they
say.
There's 2 people on the planet who run that. He's not one of them.
I'm just telling you what they say based on all the stuff that we get, all the data. He runs faster than NFL players do on the football field in training. Like he runs.
Or in pads.
No, I understand that, but he runs faster than they do in pads. He's not running the same as they do in pads. He's without pads and is running faster than they do in pads. Who's to say that they
makes sense?
I know, but who's to say that they run that much faster than him?
He's not running a 4.2.
Okay.
1.
I'm just saying based on
he's an incredible player. I'm sure he runs a 4.4 or something. He's still probably also one of the he's an incredible player.
I think Kylian Mbappe can absolutely stretch. We're talking.
He plays
40s.
later today.
Kylian Mbappe can run a 4.2. I would not be surprised at all if he ran a 4.2.
So look.
Do you know how fast he is?
I do.
But not a 4.1.
I understand. And I'm not saying all of the best athletes in the
like
world
a 4.3
play in the
or
NBA.
something? Maybe a 4.3.
Or all of the best athletes in the world play in the NFL. I'm just saying if we get every NFL player and every NBA player and like 3 of them run a 4.2, I don't think it happens to be that there are 5 players in European soccer who also run it, and they just happen to play the other.
Do we know what Noah allows? They estimate that Kylian Mbappe would run a 10.900.
They always love to do the athletes would be like they'd win the 100-meter dash in the Olympics. I'm like, I don't think so. I always think it's just
a 10.9 doesn't win you that, but yeah.
Yeah, 10.9 would be a full second off, I think, right? I don't know. But yeah, I always just think they're over. I don't think he's running a 4.1. Yeah, Noah Lyles, they estimated would be between 4.1 and 4.25. You're telling me Holland's running as fast as one of the fast people on the planet?
Lewis Riddick said his time's probably...
He probably runs a 4.3.
Lewis Riddick said he probably runs a 4.3.
Which is crazy.
4.3, I might give you a 4.3.
I think 4.3 is very doable.
I'm not giving you 4.1. Because then I'm like 2 steps away from having to agree that he'd run a 3.7 or something. And I'm not getting there by the time it's all done. But I get you, Drew. He is fast. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's an article out that Kylian Mbappe runs faster than Tyreek Hill.
In what setting?
Well, he definitely does now.
40, based on the 40 time that Tyreek Hill ran, if you combine it to how fast Kylian Mbappe runs, Kylian Mbappe's 40 time would be faster than Tyreek Hill's. That was 4.29.
I just think it's an incredibly inaccurate measuring system. They're just like measuring him running on a pitch and measuring Tyreek Hill in football pads.
No. Tyreek Hill, they ran off his 40 time. They ran off Tyreek Hill's 40.
Yeah. 40s are just the same shorts and T-shirt or whatever.
But Mbappe didn't run a 40. They're just guessing.
I know, I'm saying Mbappe's fastest speed is 2 miles, is like a mile and a half faster than Tyreek. Like he's faster than Tyreek Hill. Kylian Mbappe is.
It's also
and Tyreek Hill ran a 4.29
training thing or whatever else.
But that's what it is. They aren't. I mean, I agree with you for the most part, but I will agree with Drew on the actual circumstance of it, which is that neither would be in pads in this hypothetical.
They're saying Tyreek Hill ran fast. His 40 time. Kylian Mbappe runs faster than Tyreek Hill does
for 40 yards or for 10 yards. Or for 7, or for 22.
His top speed at the end of the 40 is 21 miles an hour. They say Kylian Mbappe runs 23.9 miles an hour at the top end speed. He runs faster than He's a faster runner. He runs
I think
faster than
I
Tyreek
think
Hill
they're
does.
all extremely quick. I still don't think that the data on that is completely going to be 100% accurate.
I think there's a little bit of guesswork to it, I guess is the point. But
there's no doubt. 4-3, I think, is very doable.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. Of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. We'll take your questions over there, YouTube and Twitch. Like and subscribe to the top of the feed, and you never miss a chance to catch this show on video. Happy to be back with these as well. So, I have a question today about what you would do next, and also whether or not you ever had this talk. I was going to Costco yesterday with my family, and in the frozen food aisle at Costco was asked this question in exactly this manner from my 10-year-old, which was, hey, not to be rude. She's not quiet, by the way. She's my child, so she's also loud. Hey, not to be rude, but what is sex?
In the middle of Costco? Out of nowhere?
Mm-hmm.
You what prompted this?
Was there anybody that turned around and or like looked at you that did like a double take? Like, excuse me?
We were around enough people. Someone heard it. Maybe they were trying to be polite, Drew, but it was definitely heard. So, two parts of the question. How do you handle it in that moment? And do you remember receiving any version of said talk?
No.
You never got to talk.
No.
Your parents just actively avoided it forever. Mine did too.
Yeah, never had the stereotypical sit down talk with your dad
when
about it.
When do you remember
No.
learning about sex then? When was young Alex Cole being like, hold on, I feel like I know what's going on here. I watched enough inappropriate television or whatever when I was a kid.
Probably in 5th or 6th grade, I guess, or something.
She's
How old
going
is
into
she?
5th.
Okay. Yeah.
Look, it's not an inappropriate.
Yeah. So what did you say?
I said we can talk about this later at home.
And
I'm not
you just hope
having
she
this
forgot.
conversation at Costco. Oh, she didn't forget. We still had to have the conversation, but just not in the middle of the store. I guess the question is at that point when I'm supposed to be have you ever said anything? I'm just trying to think. Have you ever been embarrassed by someone publicly? Gold, a niece, a nephew, a sibling, where they ask a friend, where they ask something so inappropriate in public that you're like, we can't do this here. We can't be having this conversation. I don't want to be having this conversation in public. I feel like this happens about once every couple of years where you get stuck in a situation, Drew, where you're around a sibling who doesn't have the same filter or a friend who doesn't have the same filter as the rest of you, and they ask something wildly inappropriate to somebody else in a public setting. Someone says, I learned about it from TV, Cody, so it'd probably be fine.
Will you have your wife just talk to her instead? Is that what you're going to do?
What's that?
You going to have your wife talk to her instead?
I already had to talk to her. She wasn't going to ignore the problem. She eventually went up. She had asked me to fix something in her room, and so I went up there to fix it, and she said, can we talk about it now? And I was like, what? She's like, just me and you. So then, what are you going to do in that situation? And then my younger son, who was also there, was like, wait, what's going on? And I want to know I don't want to be left out in the dark. And when trying to have the brief conversation with him, he became disinterested immediately because he's 7. So he was just like, I don't care about any of this you guys are talking about. So he became disinterested quick. There were a lot of follow-up questions in the other one. So they said Dusty does that every day. That had to be the last time that you were stuck in there. They said, my kids raised on a farm at 6. They knew farm animals make babies, so we had that covered. They said, oh, man, some of these advices are terrible. Someone said, my dad's entire sex talk was don't bleep anyone you wouldn't want to spend the rest of your life with. That's not a talk. That's just like a warning. That's just a warning. So your parents never did the talk. Drew, did your parents do the talk?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't remember.
Feels like it'd be hard to not remember that, though, because my parents definitively didn't do it. But there were also a million of us. So, because I'm the 6th kid out of 7, there weren't a lot of secrets. I didn't take long on Santa or on the rest of this stuff, right? It was all just kind of after summer vacation, so I got to be careful.
What about Santa?
The kid, or we got to teach him about sex. We have to have a choice here.
You pick. Which
you guys
one?
want to do a summer radio series where we have the hard conversations for you with your kids from the radio?
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. What?
Boy, going to be a real dark child. But Drew, you don't even remember the conversation.
I'm just mentioning health class. in sixth grade.
Well,
a couple texts coming in on that.
Did anybody else have to do you write an anonymous question in here and there are no bad questions, and then they would read them?
No, we had to watch the video. We had to watch the video. And
that still exists. They just do the video earlier now. They watched the puberty video last year. Fourth grade. Fourth grade. They watched that one. Yeah. What was it? It was fifth grade for us. Not that far off.
Fifth grade for sure.
It's not that far off, right?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
From the 816 said, parents gave me a book and said if I still had questions after, talk to them.
That seems like an easier path, you know?
Just, you know what? Well, that part of the questions around like puberty and all that stuff is from reading. She's reading a book where a kid is in middle school and going through puberty, and she was asking some of her follow-up questions to the initial question, we talked about it later, were about those things. Like, hey, are these things also, like, what's going on here? I got some other follow-up questions. It was a long evening, is the point, Gold. Of conversations you know you have to have, but it doesn't make them any more fun to have, does it? Does it? Not even a little bit. Someone says, Cody, my kids are in the car. Can we have that talk now? Which one? And how old are they? You know? Oh, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Someone says, late night watching static cable is how they learned about it. I guess congrats on the sex. Dude, you know, hard, like it is pretty hard for me to be embarrassed easily. I'm loud. I don't embarrass super easy in those settings. In the middle of Costco's enough to be like, no. We got.
Someone wants to know if you guys have any advice for them.
We gotta shut this down.
Someone wants to know if you got any advice for the listeners.
What's the question?
Around.
I've had to have the talk.
That's the conversation.
I think the general thing is to be very, to be honest and direct. You know, it's not gonna do you any good to start making up like silly nicknames for nonsense. You might as well just like tell the truth of what it is. Someone says, isn't this what health class is for? They're also your kid. Don't you also have to do that? I'm just relying on the public school system.
I don't think you have to.
You don't think you have to have the talk?
I think people
just figure it out?
You and I just discussed this. You never had the talk.
Honest to God, my biggest wake-up call in the sex talk department was probably when my sister was pregnant in like 8th grade. It's like, well, I better take this real serious.
Someone said, aren't you a teacher? Can't you do it for us?
That's not the lessons I've been teaching in this class.
They learned from Talk Sex with Sue Johansson. That's... oh, man.
It was particularly sexual.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the places that some of you all are learning this, it's concerning for all of us that I feel like most people seem to not want to have this conversation at all, and are hoping just through peer conversation they'll figure it out.
You a sex addiction? You got a problem with sex? You addicted to sex? A sex addiction or something?
Oh man,
who was that?
That's Harbaugh.
That's Harbaugh.
That was Harbaugh.
You don't remember that clip?
It's from like 2022. It's like it's a 4-year-old clip that is still.
I don't remember what it was for.
He was talking to some player. Was it? It was a mic'd up thing or whatever. And he was I think he was asking some player about.
Probably talking about Phillip Rivers or something like that. I don't know.
It was somebody that was in the news at the time for something, and he was like, "Yeah, it was like during the draft process or something." I can't remember the context. I have to Google it to find out.
Somebody just all the.
What do you think this clip is in our folder that's labeled "My sex life has never been better"? What do you think? Who's that? Can I play it? Sure.
Ever since I started listening to Cody and Gold, my sex life has never been better. That was when we were talking about radio waves.
Correct.
Yeah. Listen longer, listen harder.
Yeah.
Listen longer and listen harder.
Yeah, that's what that's from.
Yeah, make sure.
Don't forget.
Mm-hmm. That's true. All right. Up next.
Sorry, text line. I hope your kids weren't in the car.
Let's get to the 1 o'clock hour. Let's talk about some new details on the Royals Stadium. And LeBron James is not going to be a Laker next year.
What's up, KC? It's Carter Jensen. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan. Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Come score the shirt with the 96.5 The Fan, as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC-Mo every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road.
At Shawnee Mission Ford right now, they're allowing you to get a big win, and that is employee pricing. You pay what they pay. Employee pricing for everyone on 25 Mustang, Mach-E, Bronco Sport, Mavericks, F-150s, and Expeditions. And you still get all the rebates and incentives offered from Ford on top of employee pricing, along with top trade and value from Shawnee Mission Ford. American value for American values. Shawnee Mission Ford is on a mission to do more in 26.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Our American dream is ice cream. Red, White, and Bluebell is our strawberry ice cream loaded with strawberries, alongside creamy vanilla and blueberry ice cream with real blueberries. A full half-gallon of red, white, and blue ice cream. Feel free to celebrate.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Price Choppers supermarkets and McKeever's markets.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Get up to 0% on select 2026 Subaru models for up to 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months. 0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Hi, I'm Sam Silvio with M. Shamus Brazilian Grill in the village of Burlington Creek. What's the best way to describe M. Shamus? It's a feast of 14 meat, full rodizio, and 30 choices at our famous hot and cold gourmet bar. More items than most any other Brazilian grill experience. Dine in or retreat to our Inferno bar for lighter fare, small plates, and the best wine and spirits. Or enjoy our patio dining. Go to mshamus.com and discover the joy of eating.
Party at your place this summer? Fix things up inside and out with July 4th deals, now at Lowe's. Get up to 45% off select major appliances and save up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, save $80 on a select Charbroil Performance Series gas grill, now $299. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, it's Rob Brenton, and now that the tournament has started here in Kansas City, we're keeping you up to date on Beyond the Pitch KC. So subscribe and download today. The podcast is presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
1 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the news in the NBA today that LeBron James is no longer going to be with the LA Lakers, telling them he's moving on for his 2026-2027 season. There's speculation on a couple teams he could end up on. We'll talk about LeBron and what maybe going to another team actually does to his legacy in just a little bit. But we know on the Royals end, the stadium front, post the press conference in April, had been a little quiet. And yesterday there was rezoning and some, I guess, processes filed to move forward with the project. And the KC Business Journal was first to kind of report on that yesterday. And there were a couple interesting tidbits from that Royals Crown Center Ballpark District. And in that, and one part of it was the parking aspect. And the Royals had said this during the opening press conference and everything back at the end of April, but 8,200 or so parking spots are going to be on the Crown Center site. That's not including the other 10,000 that are just in the area, plus public transportation that is going to be available. For a downtown ballpark, I know everybody wonders about the parking. For a downtown ballpark to have 8,200 specifically right there at Crown Center is actually a really high number for a downtown spot.
Well, I guess part of this comes down to this idea that they did their own traffic studies. And look, every city's different, so they might have underestimated it, I'll admit. But they estimated the number of cars they think will come down to the stadium in a sold-out game. And the answer is they pretty much put enough parking spots down there to cover every car that'd be down there. I think they're short maybe 500 to 600 spots, but that's just the area that they're adding parking to, not anywhere else in the vicinity that might include some. Of the parking spots, I thought that was good news. The north-facing was what it was in the rendering, but the zoning actually including that means it's more firm or set in stone.
None of the buildings part of the district can be more than 30% taller than what's already there, which is why they discuss it'll be interesting when we get the renderings for the first time of like the inside of the stadium, because it might be more like the Dodgers ballpark where like you walk in and you're already at home plate, right? There's none of this like walking down to your seats. Like you walk in and your seats are there. And the upper level is already where you're walking in, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah. And everything not being too tall, that'll make it feel more like one of those neighborhood ballparks, you know? We talk about like where Wrigleyville, where it just feels like you're walking around. It's not skyscrapers, but like, we're in the St. Louis, it feels like you're walking around skyscrapers. It won't quite feel like that going into it. I will say the fact that they're saying the conclusion of the entire project being 2040 is a long time to appreciate the entire scope of the work.
Yeah.
Like the stadium will be there and there'll be stuff around. But the idea that we'll be waiting for the rest of it to be developed for 15 years indicates to me that it might be less travelable than they want to admit if there's going to be large-scale construction projects.
Yeah, what we don't know
the entire time for 15 years while you're down there.
What we don't know for the plan is there's 10 different like areas within it, and so we don't know what actually would take past 2035. What element of that? It mentions that the timelines can change, but the stadium, of course, will be the first thing, and then the district part, and then they'll continue to add on from there. So, I don't know what part of it would not potentially be ready till 2040, but it's probably 2034 or 2035 before everything that, like, the main stuff is fully done.
I guess I view the FIFA stuff as a good litmus test of this can work. I've had a lot of people downtown lately. And by the way, I don't know how many countless parades and stuff like that, but there's just a lot of people downtown for the FIFA World Cup Fan Fest area. And it seems like people are getting in and out. Now, and I understand. They're not going to have 78,000 buses running in and out of Kauffman Stadium in order to do it.
Yeah.
But I think like over here on Twitch, Metal pointed this out. And I think I kind of view it this way too, which is I view anywhere along the streetcar line as an okay parking spot for this new stadium. If I can get to a streetcar line, I know it'll take me the rest of the way there. And I understand that lengthens my commute. Like, I really do get that. That is just, for me personally, the trade-off I'm willing to make in order to get a downtown stadium. I can leave Kaufman relatively quickly, but I don't want to make it seem like you don't ever have to sit in traffic to leave there either. Have you gotten stuck trying to turn left or right where they got the parking blocked off part of the way, Gold, trying to get onto I-70? Or you leave through the wrong exit and you got to kind of go the back way around 435? It's not always smooth sailing getting to the highway, even leaving a regular Royals game, let alone a super busy one. It's a nightmare leaving Arrowhead. At least in this case, if I want the choice of not waiting in the traffic to leave, at least I have the choice of visiting a business instead of doing it. I thought this just gave us some idea of what their plan was and that parking is a huge part of it. I also just think there's a lot more parking downtown than people realize. If you look at like an overhead view, we talked about this when they were doing the original stadium plan. There's more parking down there than you realize.
It is just different than what we are used to. We've all driven to a giant parking lot at the Truman Sports Complex for Chiefs and Royals games, and we've all just pulled in, and we're not used to the concept of like walking 7 blocks from the stadium or 5 blocks or 10 blocks. We just pull into a parking lot and you walk. And sometimes for a Chiefs game, you're out on the gravel. You're in the gravel, but like that's just what we're used to, and it doesn't feel like it's crazy of a walk. But I tell you, you got to park 10 blocks away. That feels like you're parking very, very far away. So it's just going to be different than what we're all used to, and there will be changes to everybody's traffic pattern that day. And it mentions in this, and a part that I think is fair for people to wonder about, Cody, it mentions that they still have to come up with a playbook of what do they do when there's events at T-Mobile Center or other downtown events all happening at the same time as a Royals game. And so what's the traffic playbook? You know, you referenced the infrastructure that they already acknowledged they're going to have to change a few
71,
things.
all the three major
what's the actual playbook of how, if you're at Kaufman and the game gets over at 9:30 and there's also a concert getting out at 9:30 or 10 o'clock or whatever, what does the traffic pattern look like for the ingress and egress for a night like that?
My guess is nowhere near that front of Crown Center area will be open. It's closed even when they're doing like ice skating or the Oktoberfest that goes down there. They shut down that block by Legoland in front of Crown Center all the time. So like my guess is nowhere near there. Halfway up the hill would be my guess. And on the opposite end of Hospital Hill, where like the old, the stadium site, they thought they were going to put it down there. That might be your in and out area. But it's probably going to be a little bit more like it's going to be harder to get out of there than at first. But I assume they'll figure that out. Like this is not the first downtown stadium to ever be built. So in a lot of ways, just knowing that they're going to put as many parking spots as they think they need is a pretty good sign for me.
The other part in the proposal there from the rendering, I guess not really rendering, but just the footprint was the Washington Square Park once again, like nowhere part of this anymore.
Nope.
Nowhere part of it.
They said be like, it's just like kind of like you could walk over to Washington Square Park probably from where the new stadium's going to be. But that's it. It's not an actual part of the proposal part. I do really like the idea that it seems like the plan of it's going to be ground level is sticking, because that just seems that will add. Remember we were talking yesterday about Arrowhead and the football stadiums and the lack of unique features that exist for these dome stadiums. That's going to make that one field different. It's going to make it feel different than other downtown stadiums that I've been to. It's going to make it feel unique, being kind of a portion of this hill already in these pre-existing conditions. I like that it's incorporating a known Kansas City area near some Kansas City iconic buildings, and it's going to feel more like that. And in the end, feels like the kind of project I was interested in seeing put forward. These plans just reaffirm the fact that it's going to take a long time to build. I will say it's at 2031 for construction. So are we sure we're hitting that? What opening day do you think we'll actually hit?
They claimed opening day 2030, but
do you think we'll hit that? I don't.
I'm
not
know.
sure.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems very optimistic. So we'll see ultimately if they hit that.
Well, they wouldn't do it mid-season. If they miss 2030 to 31, right?
Correct. Yeah, so it's either opening day 2030 or opening day 2031.
You don't open it up July 1st, 2030,
No, that's not how that works. It's not how that works.
That'd be crazy.
Someone says people be grilling in parking garages. No, they won't.
This won't be tailgating.
Yeah,
They're worried about tailgating for Royals games anyway. I'm not saying there was none, but there was definitely less.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact number, but let's say there's 30,000 people at a Royals game. 5%, 2% are tailgating in the parking lot? Yeah, I know. Fine. My point being a very low percentage. It's not for Chiefs. It's a big reason why the Chiefs out of the Legends, they're going to make sure they have this giant parking lot. That we all know. Tailgating for a Chiefs game, whole different animal. Tailgating for a Royals game, it's not really a thing. That doesn't mean you've never tailgated before. I'm not telling you you've never tailgated, but it is not. We've all been to both. We all know there's a massive difference between the random 10 cars that are out there in one of the lots with a grill and the hundreds and thousands of grills and smokers that are out there at a Chiefs game. It's just not the same.
I'm not saying you and I have never claimed that it's 0 people tailgating for a Royals game or like playing yard games or hanging out. I just think the hanging out's going to look different.
There's the ballpark district. Some of the bars there will have cornhole or whatever in the front green space or whatever. Like there will be other
they'll
elements.
have bocce ball or pickleball or any other versions of those things. They'll have darts or pool some of this is, and I understand the culture part of what tailgating is in Kansas City. I think the thing that is missed sometimes and what will change with time is that the reason why it is a massive cultural event in Kansas City is because you have had nothing to do by your stadiums forever. The reason why tailgating became a huge thing at Chiefs games is because it was the only option you had when going to a Chiefs game. You had no available things to you. So I think it will stay a part of the Chiefs culture because it'll still be not in the middle of nowhere. There's businesses obviously out there at the Legends, but there'll be less. And they are creating a space in which they understand it's a part of it, and they will give you a space to continue to tailgate and make it a scene and make it a part. I just think it'll slowly fade away from being a thing you do at a Royals game. I think it'll slowly dissipate where less and less people will do it. And instead, the thing you'll do before the Royals game is I visit this same bar or we go play.
And not
this
everybody's
going to
do that. Like we got a couple people.
It's going to be less and less.
Some people are texting in, and there's going to be some people that just want to go to a baseball game. They don't like they want to go to the game and leave and go home, and that's it. There's going to be other people and also fans that maybe haven't experienced the way you have at Kauffman that want to be able to go and walk to a particular restaurant or bar before and after the game. That's not going to be for everybody. It's going to be for a lot of people as well. Nobody's forcing you to go have dinner at a restaurant before the Royals game. It's just you go and you look at ballparks across the country. It is more than just a ballpark nowadays. That's just where we're at.
It's just, and I'm sure it depends. It just depends on the person you are. And I do think that some of this is it's not being built for, like if you're like, and this isn't even meant to be ageist.
Oh boy, where are you going now? Oh boy, here we go.
This stadium is not for you if you're like 65 years old. They're not building it for you.
I don't think that's fair to say though.
They're not.
I don't think you want to alienate. You're 65. You can't go have dinner before a ballpark.
No, but I'm saying like their plan is to change the way you consume the game, and they're not trying to change the opinion of every person.
Oh, you're not going to appease
everybody
everybody the way they do anyway.
And so, no, you're not. But like, it is meant to draw in a young audience, continue to grow their audience, and bring in bring people in who will go, like my kids won't know any other way to go to the game but this way, right? Like they've gone to a handful of games at Kauffman or whatever. But as they grow up, going to a baseball game will mean doing this or doing it this way. They're aiming to, I guess, cultivate a fan base that will grow accustomed to this type. I'm not saying it can't be. I think there's an age in which they're like, well, if you don't like the new way, it stinks, but we'll try to attract a younger audience as time goes on. But you're right. Everybody's not going to be forced to stay either.
No, but I mean, if we're just like different doesn't always mean bad though. And that's where we get it. This goes back to the airport stuff as well. I'm not saying that there aren't going to be different experiences. And will it take you a little bit longer to get to your car? Possibly. Or to, if you got to take the streetcar or whatever, possibly. Like I'm not saying it's going to be the most smooth operation, but also if your take is just that it's going to just suck or whatever because it's not what you're used to, well, that is just being anti-progress, and we're not going to ever convince anybody of that. Like there's a lot of people that didn't want the airport to change because we were all comfortable with it. Pull up to the curb, hell yeah, let's go. It's just different and might take you an extra 5 minutes now to get your ass out of the car and walk a little bit further. That's just the reality. Like these are things that, like at some point, like people will have to adjust to. Like there are things we're all comfortable with, but some of it will not necessarily be terrible. Everybody's acting like a doom and gloom with the situation just because it's not the same pull into a giant parking lot. One other thing, and like people just make up stuff. I'm sorry. Like someone says, you guys go to the wrong areas. There's thousands of people tailgating at Royals games. No, there's not. Thousands of people?
Look, I have certainly not been to more Royals games than every single person in the
Thousands of people are tailgating.
Hundreds to thousands.
And
thousands.
I know, but
I would guess that I am in the top 5% of people in the city of most Royals games attended in the last 7 to 8 years.
Thousands of people are not tailgating at Royals
because of how many games I've had to go to. I don't think there's thousands. I could be way off.
I'll give you on opening day. There might be. I'll give you on opening day.
Yeah.
But on a Friday night, 28,000 in attendance, there are not thousands of people. There are not 800 grills in the parking lot. There's just not.
I don't think so. I feel like I walk past like 2 per row. I don't know how many rows there are. 3 per row. I don't know.
Again, I'm not saying that you have never tailgated. Nobody clearly you have. Nobody's saying you have never tailgated.
I'll also say, like, I don't think that there's not going to be people in one of those pay lots downtown with a grill out.
Sure.
I think there'll still be some of that. They won't let you eat up 7 parking spots like some people try to do it. Depending on the game, there won't be that. But I imagine there'll still be a cornhole set. It's some pay lot all set up with your grill. And that's fine. Like, I'm not saying you can't do that either. I just think that they want people to enjoy a baseball game a different way going forward from the pre and post game perspective. And I think that the habits will change.
Well, it's going to be different for all of us. It's going to be weird not going to Kauffman, no doubt.
I'm going to miss Kauffman. I'm going to miss both. I mean, really am. Like, I don't mean that. I'm excited about the new stadiums, but I'm going to miss the old ones.
Stadiums we grew up going to.
Yes, they're the only stadiums I grew up going to.
It's going to be very weird.
They were built before I was born. They're the only 2 stadiums I go to in the city for baseball and football, unless you count like the Monarchs or whatever. You've said 1,000 times that Arrowhead was the first. Kauffman was the
first sporting event was at Arrowhead.
I think it's crazy. First sporting event to be a football game somehow feels weird to me versus baseball.
Really? My parents had season tickets as a kid.
That's why it's
less 300 level.
I only think it's weird because of a quantity available.
Gotcha.
A first sporting event, a baseball game's easy. There's 81 inventory,
As
there's
a kid,
there's 81.
I was born in the 90s, though. The Royals stunk for much of my life. You have to, stunk.
Chiefs had a bit of a rough run there for part of your childhood.
I know. But
not that rough.
My first Chiefs game was probably like a 98 or something.
Well, you got Trent or somebody else? Or, you got decent Chiefs.
Not Trent wasn't 98.
No.
He was 2002
early
or
2000s.
whatever, yeah. That 03 offense was amazing with Trent Green and Eddie Kiddison and all that.
1990. You think that was? Do you remember the first? Do you remember who it was?
I'd have to text my parents to find out the first game.
You don't remember the opponent?
I think the Minnesota Vikings.
There was 7-9 under Schottenheimer in 98.
I'd have to.
But they didn't play the Vikings that year.
I know. I'll have to text my parents on that.
Well, now I'm curious. I want to know.
So am I.
I don't know the actual. Mine was a Royals game, and I went to a lot of them as a kid. So
there's a Chiefs Vikings game in Kansas City in '99.
So it's probably that one.
Maybe so.
If you think it's the Vikings, that feels like
I think it was Vikings. I'm not 100%. If it was, that was a 31-28 win for the Chiefs.
And then you were locked in forever. I
think so.
And a Chiefs team that was good?
Yeah.
Not good. 9-7, but the AFC West Division winners. No, second, sorry. Looked at it all wrong. Gunther Cunningham, that was your first experience?
300 level, I remember the people that had season tickets, like my parents, were Vikings fans. But they were from Minnesota. They had Chiefs season tickets, but they're Vikings fans.
What?
Yeah.
The hell are you owning season tickets for a team you don't cheer for?
Yeah, they were Viking, they were Minnesota. They were Chiefs fans, but they were from Minnesota. So when the Chiefs played the Vikings, they would root for the Vikings. I know, it was ridiculous.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
It was like sitting next to Drew at a Chiefs game. It would have been like that if Drew was a Chiefs fan, but also just converted to that, but then still root for Cincinnati when they played Cincinnati.
I can't. That would be like Drew owning Chiefs season tickets now. Yep. And unless Cincy came to town, then he would put on a Burrow jersey. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
If you owned not just like
I have a friend that
Chiefs
is
season tickets.
I have a friend that has Chiefs season tickets and LA Rams season tickets, and he roots for the Rams and he roots for the Chiefs. He has season tickets for both. I'm just telling you. I just telling you.
Doesn't make any sense to me. I guess you got that kind of dough. Who cares? But they were sitting 300 level in the 90s. They didn't have that much dough.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
That's not like it's not owning Rams and Chiefs season tickets. And I know those Rams season tickets are noise.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not, whoever you're talking about can afford it, but I'm just, just seems kind of crazy to me. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Now people are texting in their first game. So 1990, saw Barry Sanders. That's cool. That's
a pretty good first game. That goes back to like the first concert. Mine was definitely a Royals game, but I couldn't tell you which one. One of many. One of the first games I remember going to is Bob the Hammer Hamlin hitting a walk-off home run off the foul pole. So that was very early in my going to games. Drew, do you know your first ever sporting event? I got a picture of my kids as babies at a Royals game.
I mean, it depends. Are you talking like, if we're talking like any minor league baseball game, Indianapolis Indians game.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Is the first one.
They're not doing that name anymore, are they?
No, they are. So they're still the Indianapolis Indians.
Didn't change it up, huh?
They kept it.
The major league team switched up, and the Indianapolis thought, nah.
They didn't have the same pressure to switch.
Yeah, they don't.
They didn't have the same pressure to switch, honestly. It's probably what happened.
Is their logo what I think it is?
It's not a great logo, no. Nor is the mascot.
They fly under the radar. They're not part of Major League Baseball. You know, they're not a MLB team.
What's their mascot? Just looks like a bear. What's wrong with the mascot?
Yeah.
It looks like a red bear. I'm not saying it's a great mascot. I'm just saying it's not offensive. It's not. I was worried it was going to be
no
offensive. You know, I thought it was going to be like in the vein of Chief Wahoo.
Yeah, no.
Just some mascot named Rowdy.
Yeah.
Looks like a bear with a baseball nose. Gold.
Yep. Indianapolis Indians. But yeah, that'd be the first one, and then a Pacers game. Those would be the only two.
Makes sense. Again, that's
all we could afford to do growing up was the preseason Colts games, and they always played, for whatever reason. Maybe it's just because they were the closest in proximity. They always played the Bengals on the fourth week, on the last week of preseason. So we would always go to the fourth week, and you'd see nobody would play, but that's how you get to know some of the guys that were fourth and fifth string who you would root for every now and then whenever they got on the field. So yeah, those are the games I went to.
Interesting. There are a lot of people texting in about that, but then also people concerned about the stadium stuff, so I get it.
Someone says there's a Chiefs game and the gear went off for 4 sacks that day.
Long-time listeners of the show understand.
There was an update on, I saw a random thing popped up on my Facebook feed, an update that he's got a new show on Pluto TV now. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can we get on Pluto TV?
Starting to film this weekend in New York City. Show will debut in August with new episodes after each week.
What?
I'm just telling you. We'll see if it happens. But
how is this fraud?
I don't know. The gear.
Getting TV time. That's
the
crazy.
Gear.
Good for him.
Yeah,
good for him. He's a liar.
Good for him. Good for
He's
him.
faking being on plane crashes.
Good for him.
Not good for him.
Good for him.
He might be lying about this.
He might be.
He's just going to be some guy who kind of looks like him.
I don't know how he's got it, but
he's figured it out. He's figured out the cheat code, man.
Somehow he has got a TV show. So
yeah, Bernie Madoff also figured it out.
He figured out the cheat code. I don't know, man.
You just lie to people.
I mean, first it's a plane crash, then it's whatever. So it's worked for the gear. Chiefs legend. The gear
claims he'll be talking to athletes and celebrities.
Yeah.
I mean, you said he was at Radio Row.
We saw him at the draft. I walked right by him.
He was at Radio Row when we were there. He was interviewing a bunch of top players, wasn't he? I think when we were in Vegas, he was on Radio Row and had a bunch of players on with him. I think that was
Frauds are great at that, getting people around them to believe that that they're real people, like former Chiefs defensive ends, or that they were in plane crashes.
Fake it till you make it, I suppose.
I guess. Gold, we're screwed up, man. We could have had our show on Pluto. Do they want to live stream a 4-hour midday mid-market Kansas City-based sports talk show
in 4K now? I mean,
I'll tell you right now, this show will be reviewing at least one episode of his new Pluto TV show whenever it hypothetically airs.
We'll see if he has the Chiefs player on early. I wonder what the chance who he's gonna. Are they going to release the people like the Omaha Productions would do for the Manning cast? Like, this is who we have on here for the next 3 weeks or something like that?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
We can all check it out when the time comes. When that new Pluto TV show drops. You guys either of you watch Pluto TV?
Maybe once. Like, I think I've downloaded and maybe not even watched anything, actually. It was more just the curiosity.
It's great for just BS reruns if you just want to rerun from any generation.
I would say Tubi's better than Pluto is, but there's an audience for everything, and they've got old reruns of stuff like you were saying.
I don't know if I've ever checked out Pluto.
We have to. We got to do a 1-episode review.
Okay.
We got to do a 1-episode
Up
review.
next, let's get to what's trending here on Cody and Gold, and we'll talk more about LeBron James, who's not going to be staying in LA.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
And now at Staples, save 25% on all custom banners.
Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. Some banners available same day when ordered by 12 p.m. Hence 8-1 exclusions apply.
Our nation's 250th birthday calls for a really big party. And Hy-Vee is here to help with really big savings on everything you need. Load up the grill with tender baby back ribs, just $3.28 a pound. Whole seedless watermelon, only $4.48. Frito-Lay chips for $2. And Pepsi 8-pack bottles or 12-pack cans, just $3.99. Stock up on your favorite beer, wine, and spirits and get the party started. This Wednesday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Soccer Fever is in Kansas City, and Hy-Vee is your headquarters for official merchandise, apparel, tailgate, and watch party needs. And Hy-Vee makes game day so easy. They have ready-to-go wings, pizza, party trays, charcuterie, and, of course, all those delicious sweet treats. If you're planning a cookout, great. Hy-Vee special recipe brats, burgers, and steaks are the best. Check out their Match Day Meat Bundle for only $30. And don't forget about Hy-Vee's wine and spirits department. For all of your game day needs, count on Hy-Vee.
Today's Match Day preview is presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. Download the Fanatics Sportsbook app today. Winning hits different here. England squares off against the Democratic Republic of the Congo in Atlanta, and the USA matches up with Bosnia and Herzegovina in Santa Clara. England is a massive -400 favorite to win in regulation, and they are a -1,000 favorite to qualify for the next round. Markets give them a 78% chance to win the match. England also has the third best odds to win the tournament at +750. Meanwhile, the USA is also a big favorite. They are a -630 favorite to qualify for the next round. The over could be something to watch as the USA has scored 2+ goals in all 3 of their games so far. The total is currently sitting at 2.5 goals, and the over is -165. This has been your official Odyssey Sports Match Day preview brought to you by Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Listen in ahead of each match day for the latest betting insights from Fanatics all tournament long.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. So let me be honest for a second. You know, when it comes to performance, good enough just isn't good enough. And at times when you're not able to perform, it's really, really frustrating. But that's exactly why Blue Chew just raised the bar for you. Introducing Blue Chew Gold, the revolutionary 4-in-1 upgrade that targets both your brain and your body. Here is the deal. Most blue pills, they only focus on blood flow, but Blue Chew Gold goes further. It combines 2 proven ingredients for circulation, plus apomorphine and oxytocin, to enhance arousal, desire, and connection from the inside out. It's not just about function anymore, fellas. It's about total performance, both physical and mental. Blue Chew Gold, it dissolves right under your tongue and starts working in as little as 15 minutes. That means there's less waiting, more confidence, and a whole new level of readiness. And You know confidence is key. This is the future of performance. Faster, smarter, and precision engineered for results. Get started today at BlueChew.com and see why millions of men trust Blue Chew, now with a gold standard upgrade that's changing the game for good. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. We got a special deal for you there. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code KFNZ. That's promo code KFNZ. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety info.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Let me tell you about the Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite. It's bright, it's bubbly, it's back.
The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich, it's so rich, and you can choose between the original or the spicy filet.
Ooh, boy.
And then you got those pickled jalapenos tucked right under the filet, and then just to top it all off, you've got a little honey drizzle right on top.
Okay, now I'm a pimento fan.
And I'm feeling the dragon fruit.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC Mo every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on what's trending, it's something we're going to dive deeper into in just a bit, but LeBron James has reportedly notified the Lakers that he will not return to LA for this upcoming season. He will still play in 26-27. The question is where, and there's speculation. The Warriors are the betting favorite right now to land LeBron James, perhaps to pair him up with Steph Curry, and if the Wizards would trade Anthony Davis. Sorry, I paused because I just saw Ivory Coast just scored a goal to tie it up in the 73rd minute. I was caught off guard by that. It was a hell of a shot. But LeBron could end up back in Cleveland as well. There's a report from Chris Haynes of Prime saying that the Cavs are very interested.
Yeah, we'll see. He's obviously not going to end up in L.A. His kid is there. His contract just got guaranteed. The funniest thing I saw was the old, No Child Left Behind billboard. Someone just cropped it to say Child Left Behind. We're talking about Bronny staying in L.A. Look, his kid got paid, got a full guaranteed contract for a couple $1 million. But we'll see next where LeBron James is going to go and talk about it more here in a minute. Next up on What's Trending, obviously we had a great set of World Cup games yesterday, 2 ending in PKs. 3 more matches today. Right now, the Ivory Coast and Norway in action. Knotted up at 1 goal apiece as the Ivory Coast just scored. The other 2 matches today are France and Sweden at 4. That's a heavy hitter match. And Mexico and Ecuador at 8 o'clock. So far, the round of 32 has been incredible in the early portion of it. We'll see what comes of the rest of it. We've only had 4 matches so far, but they've all been excellent. But yeah, 1-1 currently on that end with 2 other matches set to go tonight.
Elsewhere, the Royals are back at it tonight. Homestand begins against the Tampa Bay Rays. 6:40 first pitch here at 96.5 The Fan. Vern's on deck show at 5:30. Noah Cameron gets the nod. The Rays come in at 48-33. The Royals 35-50. Have not seen a lineup yet. I don't know if Kaggs is in it. He was dealing with groin soreness on Sunday. Did not find himself in the lineup there.
Probably a little early for a lineup, honestly. It's right on the fringe of when one might come out, but we'll get aside from that. Q obviously talk to the media in about an hour and a half from now. Next up on What's Trending, the KC Current have announced a over $1 billion expansion effort to increase their stadium footprint and also add some stuff around the stadium, if we're being honest, to go with it. They currently seat 11,500 fans. They want to add another 6,500 seats to their current stadium front. Part of the reason they want to do this, Gold, is the Women's World Cup, which is going through a bidding process for where the next host city could be for that. Kansas City vying for the opportunity to do that. If they could get these additional 6,500 seats, their stadium requirements would meet the attendance requirements in order to get a World Cup match here. As well as Kansas City's done, Women's World Cup might very well enjoy coming to Kansas City. I don't blame the KC Current Stadium for expansion efforts. We'll see whether or not they're able to do it. They have to get approval through the city council to get some of the tax incentives they need in order to do that.
I guess I didn't realize for the Women's World Cup that they play in that small a venue.
It would
even 20. I guess I didn't realize.
It's not
maybe
like Arrowhead-sized stadiums typically, but it would be on the low end, Gold, of the stadium requirements in order to host a World Cup match. You thought it'd be back at Arrowhead for the Women's World Cup as well?
Yeah.
It's not quite that big, I guess. I don't know. I'm a little surprised by that, too, but that is part of the reason they're looking to expand to that.
I know
size.
they always said when they built CPKC Stadium, it was built with expansion in mind. It's happening quicker, I think, than maybe people realized. But by the time it would be done with construction, if in fact they get the financing, I guess it would make sense. It'd be, at that point, 8 years old? It opened in, 2024?
Yeah. Look, they privately financed around $350 million in both the stadium and the current landing projects as it sits right now. But now comes the ask from the city council to continue to expand their footprint. We'll see. It's a $1.4 billion stadium plan. Remember when that used to build you like an entire NFL stadium? Gold,
Yeah.
$1.4 billion?
It looks like, just based on simple Google search, most matches are about 20,000. Then you get to the knockout stage and they get higher. And then the capacity for the 2023 World Cup final was 75,000 people.
But that means Kansas City could still, World Cup matches could be hosted at CPKC, and then if they were to get lucky and host a bigger event, Drew, they could move over to Arrowhead.
Yeah, in Brazil, they're going to be at Estadio do Maracana, which is 73,000 people for this one next year.
Okay. We'll see what happens next. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be out at the Peanut off of State Line. The whole show will be out there taking in the match. If you're looking for a place to watch, I think you can probably put together which match. We will be there at the State Line Peanut. What's it, 7 o'clock tomorrow is when we'll kick off. I think I'm going to be there a little bit earlier. I don't know what time you guys are planning on getting there. So I'll be there a little bit on the earlier end. Chance to take in, let's see if they can get a win and move to the round of 32, the round of 16 out of the round of 32, as it's been an incredible early slate here of matches for everybody.
Mentioned LeBron James telling the Lakers today he's not returning there. What do you think that does for his legacy? I think it depends on where he ends up. I mean, if he puts a bow on his career and it's in Cleveland, I think it's kind of this perfect storybook ending. Go where it all started, what he's done for the Ohio community, and has a chance to just have his final year in Cleveland with the franchise that drafted him. If he goes to the Warriors, I do think some people will view that as a knock, as a negative for those that want to find anything to nitpick. Because let's say, wait, now you're going to join up with Steph Curry. You're going to go to Golden State. You were just in L.A., so add that to the list of Miami. I think people that are always looking for ways to kind of knock down LeBron James throughout his career, for whatever reason, some people don't like him. We don't have to get into that, but he's been...
I think some of it goes back to like the Miami thing, but sometimes people just don't like great players.
Yeah, I think some of it is the legacy aspect of, it's like, hey, I watched Michael Jordan in my childhood. How dare you tell me someone might be better than who I watched in my childhood? I think we all do that with athletes, right? Like, it happened with Patrick Mahomes. It happens with the Brady thing. It's like, no. I remember watching Patrick Mahomes, but like 40 years from now, somebody might make a case for another quarterback, and people are going to be very defensive about it. It's the same reason why Patriots fans are very defensive about the notion that possibly that Patrick Mahomes is just a better quarterback than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Like even the mere mention of that.
Yeah, breaks their brain and forces them into this. Look, LeBron has had one of the single greatest careers ever. And I will say, he always has stayed longer in a place than I remember. Like, I remember the Miami stint only being a couple of years in my head, and the second Cleveland stint not being that long. But the second Cleveland stint was 5 full years. Hell, he's been with the Lakers for 8. That is longer than I remembered him being a Laker. Now, look, I'll say, despite the fact he was a all-star, he led the league in a number of things. He was an did he ever win an MVP? I don't think he won one MVP as a Laker.
Oh, as a Laker?
No, as a Laker. He didn't win an MVP as a Laker, did he?
If we're talking as a Laker, no.
He was a finals MVP,
overall.
but he was never actually an MVP for the Laker. He's not a top 10 Laker of all time. So, that part of it is certainly different for his part of the career. Gold, you're right. I could be easily talked into him just being a Cleveland Cavalier to finish it. I think the thing that stands out most to me about LeBron at this age is I have never seen a basketball player at his age maintain this level of productivity. I'm not here to claim he's the player that he was when he was in his 20s and early 30s and all that stuff. He only averaged 20 points a game this year. But the idea that he's averaging 20 points a game and the assist and the rebound numbers that he still puts in at his age is great. This is the first year where I felt like his age showed a little.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is the first year where we really got a glimpse of, man, it looks like he's just more exhausted, I think, more than anything else. It's not even his level of play is still good, but he just can't carry it. I mean, for him to do what he is doing, what he did last year at the age that he is just flat out ridiculous. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. Because he's going to contribute. It's not like he's going to go wherever he's going and just be a 12-4-2 guy. LeBron will score 15 to 20 points a game, have anywhere from 4 to 7 rebounds, and then have probably 6 to 8 assists. I mean, it's going to be very productive. He'll still be very productive wherever he goes.
But if this is it, is the Warriors the best? Like, they're the favorite.
If he wants to win, no.
I assume he wants to win, not just like play with Steph Curry. I assume he wants to win a championship. Otherwise, why play at 41 years old, 42 years old? I can't see any world in which, if you want to win a championship, are the Cavaliers the better chance to do that? Eastern Conference is significantly easier. They were the fourth best team or fourth best record in the East last year. So, yeah, you still got to get past the Knicks, who did win the title, the Celtics, the Pistons. I'm not saying it's easy on that side, but you would think it's easier than getting past the Spurs and the Thunder and having to go through that mess. Now, I will say after that, it thins out quite a bit because people probably don't realize that the Lakers had the fourth best record in the West last year. Do you realize that, Drew?
I think that
the Lakers were as good as the Cavs last year from a win perspective.
I do think in large part this is weird that he would go. It's not that he's backtracking, but the Lakers were good because LeBron, the way that he played also, I think J.J. Redick should have won Coach of the Year. He was outstanding with that group of players that had no business being fourth in the West. I think they overachieved a little bit. But, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that the Warriors would be first just from the standpoint of if he does want to win, going to play with Steph Curry and then Anthony Davis, who can't stay healthy for a significant period of time throughout a regular season, it doesn't make sense why he would go there if he wants to win.
Says it's for enjoyment was the report.
If it's for enjoyment,
then it's not about money that he wants to go enjoy himself.
If it's for enjoyment,
he's always wanted to play with Steph.
Yeah, then I think then that would be a spot that makes complete sense because he has vocally said he wants to play with Steph, and this is his last chance to do it. I totally get that.
Yeah, I as a fan, look, the story, as I said, Cleveland, I think would be cooler ending it there.
Yeah.
From an entertainment value, I would love to see what it would look like, though, if it was Steph and LeBron and Anthony Davis on an NBA court. I understand they played together in the Olympics before, but we're talking about the NBA.
If you were to say that, if you were to say Steph, LeBron, and AD 10 years ago,
wow.
Holy cow.
But now it's
might have been the best team in the league.
It is really crazy now because this is
how many titles would they have won?
For me, you guys might be able to speak a little bit differently. I know you're a little bit older than I am, but this is the first time for me that I am. There's no offense meant by that. I'm just
joking.
I know I'm being real. You guys are a little bit older than me, but this is
I'm LeBron James's age.
But this,
also in my prime.
There you go. This is the first time that for me as a sports fan, we're witnessing. I've been able to witness the beginning and the end of someone's career to this extent, where Steph, KD, LeBron are all in their mid to upper 30s, and if not 40 in LeBron's case, and they're just going to be gone and done in a few years. And that's just crazy to kind of wrap my mind around, where in a way it is. I loved LeBron when he first came in the league. The chosen one, I had a chosen one poster up. Then the way that the Pacers couldn't beat him, it kind of rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. But now it feels like, in a way, kind of like what people felt with Kobe. I don't know how many people hated Kobe, not to the extent that they hate LeBron, but I do think that for this year, people are going to really understand that this is the last year of LeBron James and that you should enjoy it, because we're never going to see, in all likelihood, we're not going to see another player like LeBron again, just from the longevity standpoint of how good he's been over the course of 20 plus years.
Yeah, I mean, kind of what you were saying. LeBron entered the league in 2003. And so
was
you
8.
mentioned that you're mentioning, your age. By the way, Norway just scored. It's 2-1.
Yeah, 2.
Of course it was Holland. 2-1 to take a lead in the
Gigantic
86th minute. But you mentioned 03. So I was 12 years old or so. I guess what I'm getting at is most of my sports fan life, or whatever, I guess life in general, but like sports fan as far as really being into the sport and like feeling like you really knew what was going on in the intricacies of the league. He's been there the whole time. It'll be very weird. Like I don't count like if you say that you've been a sports fan like when you were 6, like I'm sorry, you don't remember watching many athletes when you're 6 years old. Like how much? But once you get to like 10, you start really like feeling like you got a good understanding. That's why it's fun with one of my nephews right now. It's like he's 10, kind of like your daughter's age, where it's like now like they're starting to like really
What
be
other
able
questions
to.
He asking?
Yeah, he hasn't asked
Just
about
sports?
that. I don't know. That's his dad can worry about that. But like my point is he'll remember. Like he just went to a World Cup match or whatever. Like he'll remember that and be able to like and actually speak to that more than.
I remember the Michael
happened.
Jordan run because I would have been 10 during his back-to-back championship
I remember watching
run. So
the Bulls. I remember watching the Bulls and the Jazz in those playoff years, but I don't remember the league and the transactions and like the background of everything.
Yeah.
Whereas
It's different
when you get a little in your once you hit like I feel like 10 or 11, you can start to understand the league more.
Yeah. Well, LeBron was like it was an interesting case for me because he was he graduated high school the same year I did. We were like I remember that being a massive story in sports because like he was graduating 2003 the same year I was or whatever, and you're like, that's a grown ass man. You're like, that's insane. That's a high school person. Like that doesn't even make any sense. Went straight in the league, immediately was successful. I think people's biggest problem with him goes back to I'm taking my talents to South Beach, and that people don't think he's loyal. In their head, he's played for 57 different teams. He's played for 3. Now, it will eventually be maybe 4 if he goes to Golden State.
Yeah, it's about to be 4, yeah.
But maybe 3 if he still just goes back to Miami. It would have been 2 different stints with Cleveland and 2 different stints with Miami, but not as many different teams in your head as you think because the Cleveland run was twice. But he won a title everywhere he went. He won a title in Cleveland. He won a title in Miami. He won a title in Los Angeles. And I don't think he'll accomplish that if he goes to Golden State. But he has had success everywhere he's gone.
The biggest accomplishment to me, where I think LeBron, where he stapled himself in as one of the 2 best players ever, and you can have the argument with somebody else because I hate the GOAT argument. It's so annoying and frustrating at times. But when LeBron was down 3-1 to that Warriors team that went 73-9. And broke the record, and they came back and won. That was hands down the best achievement. That cemented his legacy. I think even like anything with the Lakers has all just been kind of gravy. He's just been adding to all the records that he has been. But I think his legacy was cemented when he led that team back from 3-1 down, the only team that's ever done it, and it was against that Warriors team that went 73-9 and broke the Bulls record. That right there should be like the ultimate achievement. The number one thing on the list is that he brought a championship to Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
For all the things you mentioned too, Gold, with him being a person who has propped up Akron and everything like that with the Promise School and all the other things that he's done. Like I think that really cemented his legacy as an all-timer, him being able to do that. And maybe when he's gone, maybe when he's done playing, it'll be like, dang, we don't see LeBron anymore. And even people who hate, like sometimes you need people you need players who people hate, and LeBron's one of those guys that's so polarizing because he's so good that you don't necessarily you're going to be missing something in a way.
Look, there's also
when he's done playing.
I mean, I guess we have to acknowledge without getting too deep into it. Like, there's also some people who just don't like him because of some comments he's made in the past and his political stances and things like that. You're always going to rub people the wrong way.
Yeah, all of it.
Like so. There's so much. I mean, everybody. I also think he was a star. Has been a star, and right in the middle of social media starting. There's a big difference. He got in the league in 03. Social 100%. Media really took off in like 06, I feel like. As far as Twitter, and Twitter wasn't even around in 03 yet.
Facebook was barely around in 03.
Yeah, so
you had to like go to a college and have a collegiate email.
So he's been able to be way more out there and criticized and vulnerable, if you will, because of that. If Michael Jordan would have been plenty criticized if in 1995 and 1990 and the 80s, if we had Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
And the reason why LeBron stands out is I only think social media is the only era in which you can qualify as a youth star living up to the hype. Because before then, being a youth star didn't mean anything. Nobody knew who you were. You lived in anonymity. He lived in a He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
When he was in high school, yeah.
And social media.
For sure.
Like, he is the single best lived up to the hype of a youth player ever.
Yes.
Ever. And there's been some great ones. Like, Bryce Harper was on the cover
Very
of
good player, but didn't
Sports
live up to
Illustrated.
that. Awesome player, but not... He didn't end up being
and
the...
then there's the Sebastian Telfairs of the world who got the hype that did and didn't like
100%.
reach that peak level. Or the Freddie Adu was a big one. If you guys remember going through that run as a youth soccer player. And it's like, there are ones that like get that kind of recognition and people try to tear him down, or they got to try to live up to an impossible standard. He did. I mean, in fairness.
He did.
He got called the chosen one. He was. He was.
He went to the hometown team and
he's either the greatest of all time or the second greatest of all time, depending on who you talk to.
Point blank.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, there's no. Because even like
someone says they're still mad at LeBron because he tried to trademark Taco Tuesday. That was bold. I do remember trying to do that.
You can't have Taco Tuesday.
The Instagram videos were great though of him doing the Taco Tuesday. Those were great. But
you can't trademark that.
Agreed.
We're not calling it that already.
Like,
Didn't they end up? Go ahead.
I think Cooper Flagg also to an extent has that sort of hype, but it's not. It wasn't LeBron James level hype from a high school standpoint. Like he was good in high school, and we knew he could be really good. But from the standpoint of LeBron, where you've got the Sports Illustrated cover, the tattoo on the back that says chosen, like all of that stuff, which some of it rubs people the wrong way, but he's been advertised as that dude. And whenever you're, especially in comparison to MJ, to live up to that of all sports is something that is just insanely special.
Interesting career.
We'll find out where he goes. Yeah,
you know,
Warriors are the betting favorite. That doesn't mean that's where he's going.
You know
for
what?
Sure,
go ahead and come to Indiana. It'd be so weird to see you in an Indiana Pacers jersey. Pacers fans hate LeBron James, but it would be so weird seeing him in a Pacers jersey.
Even in the long shot fits, people try to get him to like Minnesota or some of these other teams, but they're not mentioning
to the Utah Jazz or something like that.
They're not mentioning.
LeBron and Darren Peterson. Hey, I mean, hey,
that'd be fun.
He needs to play with the gray beard. I don't know if Bronny or Savannah needs to convince him of it.
His hairline go. He's not going graybeard.
Him going graybeard would be awesome.
He's been fighting that hairline for 2 decades.
Yeah, at least
he lost that battle.
At least he's not spraying it on like Jaylen Brown is. It could be worse.
Or Marcus Freeman, the Notre Dame coach.
Yeah,
what was that?
Or Marcus Freeman or Carlos Boozer. You know,
the Boozer one was all time because he's explained that story. That's his kid got asked about it at draft night. Did he know? But that's a one-off. Huge mistake. That wasn't like he did that every night.
His head was glistening. It was. Carlos's was.
That was his barber did him dirty, and he's like, it doesn't look that bad, does it? That's different. That's a one-off versus like the people who try to like spray it on for years and years. LeBron went and just got like, I think like he should just get the tattoo job done. If he's gonna keep it nice and cropped up, people just get like where it looks like it's short buzz, but it's just like tattoos.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's a thing.
Why is that? Yeah, why is that so crazy versus like a hair transplant?
I didn't know that was a thing.
If you keep it buzzed, but you want to make it look like you got a hairline, just
go to Turkey. Just go to Turkey.
He's got the dough. He can go wherever.
Turkey is apparently the best.
Yeah,
go to Turkey.
Someone said Wemby. I mean, Wemby feels like him and Cooper feel like the guys that have been propped up as this for. But LeBron even like
is different with LeBron. They were airing his high school basketball games in the
on
U.S.
on ESPN. Yeah, it was very different.
It was very different. I just like that was the first athlete I can remember, other than Tiger might be the answer. Tiger, like the youth, like when they started talking about Tiger, he was like 17 years old winning the amateur championship. They hyped him up in a way, but his hype came because when he got into the PGA, he started to dominate. His hype wasn't when he was just a youth player. They were showing LeBron as a junior in high school